the media capital of the world.
To participate in the general public comment period, please call now at 818-238-3335. For any scheduled public hearings, please call when prompted to speak if you want the comment to be part of the record. Speaking times will be determined by the total number of public comment cards and callers in the queue at the start of each public comment period. For 1 to 20 total speakers, each speaker will receive up to 3 minutes. For 21 to 39 total speakers, each speaker will receive up to 2 minutes. And for 40 plus total speakers, each speaker will receive up to 1 minute. No additional comment cards or calls will be accepted once the public comment period begins.
Interpreters are available for assistance with in-person public comment. Please connect with them if you are in need of services. Hay servicios de interpretación disponibles para asistir con los comentarios públicos en persona. Por favor, habla con un intérprete si necesita estos servicios.
Եթե տեղում մեկնաբանություն եք անում թարգմանիչի կարիք ունեք, միացեք թարգմանչի հետ օգնության համար։
Good evening and welcome to a regular meeting of the Burbank City Council on Tuesday, February 10th, 2026. And a happy early Valentine's Day to all. Please join me for a moment of reflection. This moment is intended to begin our meeting with the positive and collective support for our beloved community. City Council welcomes everyone joining us this evening. We encourage you to take a moment to reflect on our community and the work we will be doing tonight. Although each of us has our own unique reasons for being here, we are united in our passion for our wonderful city. As we pause, let us consider our individual contributions and what they mean to those around us. Let us find solace in knowing that by working together with a shared spirit of community and partnership, we will always act responsibly for the betterment of Burbank. Thank you. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, Madam City Clerk. How are you tonight?
I'm terrific. How are you, Madam Mayor?
I'm good, thank you. Will you please conduct the roll call?
I will. Noting the absence of Councilmember Anthony, Councilmember Perez? Here. Councilmember Rosati?
I am here.
Vice Mayor Mullins?
Here.
And Mayor Takahashi?
Here.
Thank you.
Here. All right, there will be 5 periods of public comment tonight. Members of the public may comment in person or by telephone during the general public comment period and must submit comment cards or call before the general public comment period begins. The first public comment period is for general public comment on any matter concerning city business and/or any agenda item. If you are here in person and wish to speak during the general public comment, you should have submitted a yellow public comment card to address the council. You can turn them in over here to the city clerk. If you would like to participate in the general public comment over the phone, please call now at 818-238-3335. Callers will be placed in a queue until the general public comment period begins, at which time no additional calls will be taken. If you would like to participate in public comment for the public hearing over the phone, please call any time between now and the beginning of the hearing at 818-238-3335. Callers will be placed in a queue until the public comment period begins, at which time no additional calls will be taken. Additional public comment periods will be available following each report to council. Interpreters are also available for assistance with public comment. We have Spanish and Armenian interpreters here with us this evening, sitting in the front row here. Please connect with them if you are in need of services, and feel free just to walk up to them and let them know. All right, tonight we have 5 announcements.
The following are announcements for February 10th, 2026. The Burbank City Clerk's Office is accepting applications for 1 vacancy on the Burbank Water and Power Board for an unexpired term ending July 31st, 2028. The deadline to submit an application is Wednesday, February 11th at 5 p.m. If interested, please apply online at burbankca.gov/BCC application. As a reminder, any person appointed to fill a vacancy shall hold office for the remainder of the unexpired term. Persons appointed to serve unexpired terms must complete the term before applying to serve on another board, commission, or committee. For more information, please contact the Burbank City Clerk's Office at 818-238-5851 or email cityclerks@burbankca.gov. Join the City of Burbank for an in-person community meeting on Thursday, February 19th at 6 p.m. to learn more about the Golden State Neighborhood Protection Plan and share your input on potential impacts from future residential development. Phase 1 of the plan will focus on neighborhoods north of Empire Avenue and south of San Fernando Boulevard. Find meeting details on burbankca.gov or contact Senior Transportation Planner Marcos Fuentes by emailing mfuentes@burbankca.gov. The City of Burbank is continuing community engagement for the potential new Central Library and Public Plaza through a series of community workshops focused on site planning. These workshops are intended to gather public input on priorities, needs, and ideas that will help shape the project's early vision, with future steps guided by community feedback and City Council direction. An in-person workshop will be held on Saturday, February 21st from 10:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. at Burbank Central Library, and a virtual workshop on Wednesday, February 25th from 7 to 8 p.m. for those unable to attend in person. Additional details and registration information are available at newburbanklibrary.com. Join us for the 3rd annual Burbank Adaptive Sports Expo, BASE, on February 21st from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at McCambridge Recreation Center. This free and inclusive event celebrates athletes of all abilities, features up to 14 adaptive sports, and includes a vendor and resource fair with helpful programs and services. Registration is required. Visit burbankca.gov/base to learn more and to register. The City of Burbank is proud to launch Film Burbank, a new campaign celebrating Burbank's century-long legacy as a premier destination for film, television, animation, and digital media production. With iconic studios and a streamlined permitting process, Film Burbank will showcase the resources, talent, and creative community that make Burbank the media capital of the world. Learn more at burbankca.gov/Film Burbank. This concludes the announcements for this evening.
I'm so pleased to be able to do our 2 presentations tonight. So our first presentation this evening is the presentation of certificates of recognition celebrating graduates of the Burbank Waste Warriors program. Woo! I don't know if other cities do a program like this out there, but I have not yet met another council person in another city that has a program quite like this, so I'm so proud of our Waste Warrior program. So please join me in welcoming Miss Amy Hammis, Recycling Specialist, to the podium. Woo. Welcome, Amy. I've never been to the Waste Warriors program directly, but I've been to many, many of the programs that you've offered to the community, and I've heard so much from the folks who have done the program previously, so I'm so excited to have you here tonight. So would you like to share a few words to the folks in the audience about the Waste Warriors program?
Great. Sure. I do have a speech, just so I don't drone on too much, but I'll drone on a little bit because I am proud of our program. So tonight we're honored to celebrate the graduates of the Burbank Recycle Center's 2025 class of the Waste Warriors training program. And one of the first lessons that our Waste Warriors learn is that when we throw something away, there is no such thing as away because our waste goes somewhere else. And through class lectures, guest speakers, field trips, and hands-on experiences, these dedicated residents gain valuable insight not only to recycling, but their overall waste footprint. And through this education, our waste warriors have adopted sustainable practices and mindsets in their own lives. Even more importantly, they've become ambassadors for change, sharing what they've learned and inspiring others to rethink their relationship to waste. And the list of accomplishments is numerous, too numerous to mention right now. But for example, one of our waste warriors found a path to environmental education, making it impactful and entertaining by launching a web series called Climate Fights. And each episode features a climate or waste fact, and then it always ends with a very interesting and wry reaction. And other waste warriors developed sustainability projects in their workplaces and their children's schools. Many continued their involvement through our Waste Warrior Alumni Network, which has donated thousands of volunteer hours to the city events and other volunteer efforts over the years. And this past year, they have included helping the Recycle Center introduce food scrap collection and recycling sorting at the Burbank Public High Schools, as well as our recent repair event, a Fix-It Clinic in December. And the Recycle Center's outreach work is greatly supported by their generosity and dedication. And I joke that whenever I need help, I send out the bat signal. And these guys always come through. And last month, we launched our new Waste Warrior Cohort 2026, which is our 11th. And we continue to grow our alumni network. So to all of you guys, past and present, thank you for your passion, dedication, and leadership. And I really appreciate all your efforts in making Burbank a more sustainable city.
Oh, that's so awesome. Is there any space left in the 2026 cohort?
We are in the midways, yeah. We're coming up to class to 4. So 2027 will start in November recruiting.
Okay, so you heard it.
It's a hot ticket, though.
Okay, so keep it on your calendar, November 2026. November 2026 to sign up for the 2027 group, so you can be a waste warrior too. All right, so we're going to have the distinct pleasure of hearing the names of the folks who were in the program and come up and congratulate you for graduating.
Okay, Brian McCarthy. Oh, sorry, Brian McCarthy. So stay up here. Yeah, stay up here. We're going to take a photo. Carla Trejo. Glenn Hamanaka. Jane Lim. Jillian Stein. Should we do this in order? That's okay. This one's easy. Julie Lee and Megan Lee. Mother and daughter duo.
Mom and daughter duo.
And Megan is our youngest waste warrior ever in the program. Karen Ng. Megan Sheridan. Did Megan show up? Yeah, there she is. Hi, Megan. I haven't seen you yet. MJ McKinney. Raylan Donza. Samantha Miyamoto. Stephanie Anderson. We're almost done. We're almost done.
Yes.
Suha Wang, sorry. Suha? Oh, she's not here. Okay, sorry. Taika Viabichka. Close. I hope I got that close. And finally, Tracy Held. Oh, yes, can you guys come over to the other side? We're going to take a picture. Yeah. And then I'd also just like to ask the other members of our Public Works team who do so much to help support this program and make it possible, if you'd come up also for the photo.
Before we do the photo, just really quickly, this certificate is for all of you to congratulate you on going through the program and completing it, and to thank you all And thank you all for participating. Thank you to Amy. Thank you to Public Works to take seriously sustainability and resiliency in our city and to be a part of the solution. So thank you all so much. This is for you. Okay, you and I are going to. Okay, all right, great. Thank you.
Just scoot it a little closer. Yep, perfect. Okay, looking right here. And one more. 1, 2, 3.
Bree, you are the best paparazzi.
Keep. Keep.
Thank you, honey.
Oh, yes.
If you'd like to stay or go, it's up to you.
I don't want to just, I don't know.
You can stay, you can go, it's up to you guys.
I think it was too late at that point. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Our second presentation this evening is the presentation of a proclamation declaring February 1st through 28th, 2026 as Black History Month in the city of Burbank. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Amber Beasley, Human Resources Manager, to the podium. Before we present the declaration proclamation, would you like to say a few words?
If you don't mind. Yes, please. Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Mayor Takakashi, Vice Mayor Mullins, and council members. My name is Amber Ream Beasley, and I am honored to serve as the new HR Manager of Employee Experience in the Management Services. I accept this proclamation with deep gratitude. I want to share just a little bit about the privilege I've had over the past couple of months to witness firsthand the care and dedication and the passion the city of Burbank has. I've seen not only how deeply our staff care for the community we serve, but also how we care for one another. That combination is powerful. It reflects a community united in shared purpose, a community committed to service, collaboration, and excellence. In many ways, the spirit mirrors the very legacy and living impact the Black history demonstrates. Resilience, joy, innovation, collaboration, compassion, and stewardship in the face of challenge and change. Black history is American history. It is a story of contribution and leadership, culture, and progress that continues to shape our workplaces, our communities, and our collective future. As we recognize and celebrate the profound impact Black individuals and communities have had and continue to have on our society, I will also ask for you folks to take a time to reflect inward. I hope you celebrate yourselves. I hope you celebrate the ways you show up for your teams, for the city, and for the community members who rely on us every day. As I continue my tenure here at the City of Burbank, my commitment is to help strengthen how we communicate care to each other internally and to the communities we serve externally. Employee experience at its core is about ensuring people feel seen, supported, and valued, because when our community thrives, our service to the community thrives as well. Thank you for welcoming me into this work, and thank you for the work you do every single day to make the city a better place. Thank you.
So beautiful. Thank you so much. Black history is American history.
It sure is.
Black contributions are American contributions.
Amen.
Yeah. All right, so proclamation, Black History Month. Whereas in 1915, distinguished Black historian author Carter G. Woodson founded the Association for the Study of African American Life and History to research and promote achievements by Black Americans, and whereas in 1926, the ASALH sponsored the precursor to Black History Month, inspiring schools and communities nationwide to organize local celebrations, history clubs, and lectures celebrating the contributions of Black Americans and their central role in the U.S. history. And whereas during Black History Month, the City of Burbank celebrates the many achievements and contributions made by Black Americans to our economic, cultural, social, and political development. And whereas the observance of Black History Month also calls our attention to the continued need to champion democratic ideals and work to progress in an equity and justice-oriented organization, actively and authentically engaging on issues of racism and prejudice. And whereas the City of Burbank, built on the fundamentals of people, pride, and progress, strives to be an inclusive community in which all citizens are respected and recognized for their contributions to our city, state, country, and world. Now, therefore, I, Tamala Takahashi, Mayor of the City of Burbank, do hereby proclaim February 1st through 28th, 2026 as Black History Month in the City of Burbank. Woo! Yay! There you go. So I present this to you. Thank you for receiving it on a behalf.
Do you do hugs? Yes, I do hugs.
It's on the seat. There it is. There you go. Thank you. All right. Oh, I need the microphone one more time, sir. Madam Assistant City Manager, do you have a report?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We do have one report tonight. I'm excited to introduce our Parks and Recreation Director, Marissa Garcia, who's going to provide an update on our new trail accessibility program.
Good evening, Mayor Takahashi, Vice Mayor Mullins, and members of the City Council. I'm Marissa Garcia, Parks and Recreation Director, and it is truly my privilege to highlight the city's new trail accessibility program at the Stout Canyon Nature Center. So I have a few pictures to share with you. I'm proud to announce that the City of Burbank Parks and Recreation Department successfully launched the San Fernando Valley's first trail accessibility program. This program introduces an all-terrain action track chair, Access 40, allowing individuals with mobility limitations to safely and meaningfully experience the Stout Canyon Fire Trail, a shared-use trail that is not accessible with traditional mobility devices. The initiative reflects Burbank's continued commitment to dignity, independence, and full participation in outdoor recreation for residents and visitors of all abilities. This free program further positions Burbank as a regional leader in adaptive recreation and inclusive park design, providing a replicable model for other jurisdictions across the County of Los Angeles. It aligns with the city's broader accessibility goals and advances regional momentum as Southern California prepares for the LA 28 Olympic and Paralympic Games. This program was successfully launched on January 31st at the Stout Canyon Nature Center and currently has 45 reservations. Use of the track share is managed through a structured online reservation system to ensure safe, equitable, and organized access. Reservations are made online through burbankparks.com. Users will then select facility rentals, scroll down and select Stout Canyon Nature Center, and under this facility will select the adaptive hiking rental reservations option. Available reservation times will appear on the calendar and require an account login to complete. Prior to trail use, participants will complete a safety orientation video, sign a waiver, and participate in a brief test drive. Reservations allow for a guided hiking experience of up to 2 hours. The Trail Accessibility Program expands recreational opportunity for individuals who have historically been excluded from natural trail systems. This program strengthens Burbank's adaptive recreation portfolio and reinforces the city's role as a forward-thinking, inclusive public agency committed to access, wellness, and community belonging. Thank you very much, and that concludes my brief report.
Great, thank you. What a wonderful report. Any quick questions, comments from council? Yeah. Are there any other cities that have this? I'm gonna brag on us a little bit.
Not that we're aware of, no.
we are the first one to have it, or the only one to have it.
Correct, but we hope not to be the only one, and that is an active goal of ours that we're working towards. This model, as well as our entire adaptive sports program, to be a model that other cities can replicate.
That's wonderful. Thank you. Yes,
Madam Mayor. So I was there for the ribbon
you.
cutting, and I know Councilmember Rosati was there too. Excellent program, and I saw the smiles on their faces, and it just gives you goosebumps to see them going up there on the trail. I was told at the event that this program is the only program in Southern California. There's one, I believe, in Northern California, similar, but there's nothing like it here in Southern California.
Correct.
Yeah.
I believe also in another state, I think it's Colorado, has a program not quite like ours. You know, ours is obviously inclusivity and affordability, right? So this is a free program that we're very proud of. And again, you know, we're really excited to share, brag about our exciting program, and hopefully continue to increase all of our offerings. And I do want to thank you, Vice Mayor Mullins and Councilmember Rosati, who attended the ribbon cutting event on the 31st.
Well, it was definitely worth it, seeing their faces.
Yeah. Yes, Councilmember.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just want to say how proud I am of your department of just breaking barriers. There was so much excitement that day. And as you can see just from the signups, we're going to need some other cities to lean in.
Yes.
Because I think it's only, it's going to grow. I can see this growing. So I'm sure that you're probably going to have to mentor some other communities on how to get this done, because it's just amazing. So congrats.
Yeah. Yeah, last year we had a demonstration vehicle at the Cal Cities event with the other cities were there and seeing it, and there was just a buzz around it. So I think that your hope that this expands to other cities, I think will happen.
And if I could make one last plug for our BASE program, our BASE event, our Burbank Adaptive Sports Expo event, which is on February 21st at McCambridge Park, the entire park, the rec center. We invite everybody in the community who just wants to stop by and check out all the different offerings that we will have for that day. It's truly, truly an amazing event that brings the community together. We have a lot of new partners that will be joining us this year, as well as other communities who have heard about our event and our program and are curious to learn more about it, so they'll be coming out. So thank you very much for your support.
Thank you. Thank you for all you do. All right, Mr. City Attorney, will you please report on closed session?
Yes, Madam Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the City Council, and for the benefit of the public, the City Council met at 5 p.m. this evening to discuss two items in closed session. The first item was a matter of existing litigation pursuant to Government Code Section 54-956.9D1. Council took no reportable action on this matter of existing litigation. The second item was a matter of anticipated litigation pursuant to Government Code Section 54-956.9D4 with the city as potential plaintiff in one case. Councilmember Constantine Anthony was not present, but City Council gave unanimous direction by a vote of 4-0 for the City Attorney's Office to commence litigation in the anticipated matter.
Thank you. Now is the time for general public comment, noting the arrival of Councilmember Anthony. I will be calling out the speaker's name as well as the person who is next in line to speak. In order to keep public comment moving in a timely fashion, we have designated seat in the front row for speakers who are up next at the podium, right there in the corner. A timer is available at the podium. This is also the last call for anyone who needs an interpreter, although staff will be released for the evening. Persons may choose to use the first period of public comment to address an agendized report, but will not be able to speak at that item. And please state your name for the record. So our interpreters, have there been any requests for assistance? No? All right, well, you're free to go enjoy your evening. Thank you for being here and being willing to serve. Okay. The general public comment period is now beginning and no additional cards will be accepted. Madam City Clerk, how many public comment cards do we have for general public comment, and how many callers do we have?
We have 10 in person and 1 on the phone.
All right. So So that's 11 comments, which means you get 3 minutes each. Our first speaker is Natalie Vartanian, followed by Mark Scroggs. Welcome. You have 3 minutes.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the City Council. Thanks for having me. I'm here today on behalf of LA County Supervisor Catherine Barger. She just really wanted to extend her strongest support for item 4, the agreement between the City of Burbank and the LA World Cup 2026 host committee. Supervisor Barger is really excited to be supporting an official FIFA fan zone here in the City of Burbank. Everybody knows the City of Burbank is the heart of entertainment, and you all do it best. And she's really excited to be having an official fan zone event in her district. And I am happy to announce that she will be supporting the event with $100,000 contributing to the event. So we're very excited, and congratulations on this. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Mark Scroggs, followed by Ron Bax. Welcome.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Mark Scroggs. I want to make sure, it was announced last week, but it hasn't got much attention yet. Assemblymember Nick Schultz is proposing a bill for a tax incentive for post-production. Let me put my glasses on so I can read what I wrote. So he's working on this bill. There's no number. It's still being written, so it's in the early stages. But I know how things take time to kind of get around and get a momentum. Even with the 2025 tax incentives, the state doesn't cover talent salaries, doesn't cover commercials, doesn't cover a lot of things, which is why a lot of productions are still going away. Trust me, they are. The tax incentive helped, but we need a lot more. Post-production, people get flown to these locations, they get done in these locations, people have moved to these locations, so it's easier to be done there. And I learned that a lot of stuff, when they do it here, they put it in the cloud. It's very expensive. Uses a lot of power. It's not all that safe. People would rather be doing it here. So it's a bill that's early on, but we're losing jobs. And you can see every couple of weeks, like another little company disappears. You don't really know what they are because they're not marked, but they're gone. So, and these fields are very important for our community, especially because a lot of people who work in them, they're kind of, I won't say they're boring, but during the Oscars, when you're watching it, these are the categories that you're like, oh, I guess I'll pick these, and they're kind of in the middle, and they're thrown together, and they try to make them interesting. But they're crucial, to our economy. So, so I wanted to mention that. And I was told by Amanda in Nick's office that people, if they have ideas, they should just go to his website, go to the contact me point, and just say what they're thinking. We'll have more information because we need to kind of rally the troops because the tax, it's going to be a tough year on budget-wise. Meanwhile, a couple weeks ago, we hosted, the Cultural Arts Commission hosted an event that I was part of about bringing people and attaching people to projects. We had about 55 people there. People stayed for like an extra 40, 45 minutes, not only because of Porto's being there, but because they wanted to talk about things. So we need to have more of these events. These little events like this are very important. I don't think we need a big media day anymore. I think we need to have smaller, more compact things over and over. I know the Cultural Arts Commission, the library's been involved, so if people have ideas, I can help guide you to those people. So it would be it's really good. And last, if you want a good read, the HollywoodReporter.com has a really great article on Bad Bunny and why he's freaking out Trump and the MAGA people. It's online, it's fascinating, I recommend it. So that's it for tonight.
Thank you for your comment. Next up is Ron Bax, followed by Ward Smith. Welcome.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council. For the record, the cards were shuffled again because I was the first card. I know I was before Mr. Strauss. I don't know about the first speaker. Just wanted you to have expectations. Okay, so I want to talk about mediation, and I want to apply it to the 4% rent cap proposal. A couple of meetings ago, the city attorney presented mediation as a concession or a gift to housing providers. I see it as being a trap. Why would I set the stage for a past, present, or future applicant or tenant to sue me because they felt they didn't get the same consideration? I have personal experience, not with that specifically, but we all know that race, creed, color, sex, place of national origin, onto source of income are protected classes. So I wanted to refinish the kitchen cabinets in my apartments many years ago. I had a tenant's daughter, who was not on the lease, decide that she didn't want it done. So she reported me to federal government. The DEFH, when I got contacted, I said, really? And they said, as long as there's a claim of discrimination, we have to investigate. So I spent 6 months of hell providing information, okay? It got so bad that, or this particular instance, that her divorced father called my painter and apparently put enough scare in him, the painter walked off the job. I had to find someone else, another contractor, to do the last 6 apartments. I seem to have gone blank. So you have 1 minute reprieve. I recommend, though, that you sit down with housing providers to fully appreciate what their life is like. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Next up is Ward Smith, followed by Marcus Davis. Welcome.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and council members. My name's Ward Smith, and I'm here to discuss the Infrastructure Board and possibly serving on that. I kind of broke this up into 3 pieces: my general expertise, personal expertise, and my Burbank experience. Kind of think that you remember 3 things at a time. So I have about 40 years of experience in specifying, building, and designing interior spaces for the commercial community in the Southern California area. I possess a good working knowledge of practical understanding of architecture, sustainable building practices, safety concerns, ADA requirements, and approval processes. Extensive experience in budgeting processes, both for bonds and for private sector. That's kind of my general experience. My personal experience is I am a general manager of Blue Space Interiors here in Burbank. I have about 10 sales and design professionals that I mentor and coach on an ongoing basis. We're responsible for about $34 million of business a year in revenue. In the past, I was involved in the Burbank Tournament of Roses for 10 years in designing, building, and specifying the Rose Parade float for the city of Burbank. And lastly, what I'm really looking for is at some position within the city of Burbank to serve. And part of that comes from a legacy of Burbank civil service in my family. It goes back to 1925. So, thank you, and have a good evening.
Thank you for your comment. Next up is Marcus Davis, followed by Diana Pulver. Welcome.
Hi. Sorry, my wife is a licensed marriage and family therapist. Sorry, my name's Marcus Davis. My wife's a licensed marriage and family therapist. She's the one that talks so much in our family. A little nervous about having to get up here and try and kind of sell myself to you guys here, but I'm here to talk about the open seat for the Infrastructure Oversight Board. Want to thank you guys for your time and for your consideration. Want to thank Councilmember Rosati for kicking on that AC. I saw that earlier. I thought I was getting really nervous, and it was kind of warm in here. But to tell you a little bit about myself, I've been a Burbank resident for 18 years. My wife and I have raised our 3 daughters here. And like many residents, we've experienced the city both as renters and as homeowners. I have girls that have been through Bret Harte, Luther, and Burroughs, so I've seen a lot of the actual school facilities. And I've personally been involved in countless parks and recs, trips, plenty of trips to the airport facilities, but also in owning my own homes in the city of Burbank. I've worked with building and safety, planning, permitting, inspections while improving our homes. So I understand city infrastructure, not just professionally, but as a resident who lives lives with those outcomes as well. I professionally serve as Senior Vice President of, of Property and Construction Management for Albert Suite Development, which is the real estate division of Occidental Entertainment Group Holdings. I bring roughly 20 years of experience in the commercial real estate and entertainment and public sector industry and oversight. Worked on everything from small public repairs to sidewalks to major infrastructure projects throughout Los Angeles County. Projects that on an annual basis typically exceed well over 25 million. And on my personal capital and maintenance oversight is approximately 20 million annually. What draws me to the Infrastructure Oversight Board is the belief that infrastructure decisions are not abstract. Streets, sidewalks, traffic, utilities, and public facilities directly shape the life of residents. Effective oversight helps ensure those projects are clearly scoped, responsibly funded, well coordinated, and delivered in a way the community can see and feel. I value transparency, accountability, and respectful collaboration with city staff. And I also believe that professional and lived experiences can help strengthen public decision making. So thank you very much for your guys' considerations.
Thank you for your comment. Next up is Diana Pulver, followed by Dan Kay. Welcome.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and council members. My name is Diana Pulver, and I am a housing provider. Recently, a fellow housing provider related a situation which highlights why excessive regulations and rent control make for a challenging business environment. My fellow housing provider wanted to upgrade the electrical for their 3 units. They wanted more amperage because today's electrical devices require it. They were, however, unable to do so. They had to keep the existing 200 amperage. Why? Because the city fees alone to increase amperage put the project over budget. Last year, the permitting fees for this project were approximately $1,600. This year, those same fees have risen to $6,200. These increased fees are ostensibly meant to help with citywide infrastructure improvements. To improve infrastructure, as any housing provider and renter knows, is a good thing. But what is not a good thing is to expect housing providers to shoulder the entire burden. So again, I say, AB 1482 is more than sufficient and fair, and a law we can all work with. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Next up is Dan Kay, followed by Joe Pimienta. Welcome.
Good evening. I stand here with a lot of privilege as a white man and documented citizen. Many in this community and country without such privileges fear speaking up because of potential and real consequences. They're afraid to go to work, school, even shop for food. They have families to support, mouths to feed, and rent to pay. They're marginalized and vulnerable because of the cruelty and indifference of politicians and voters. Immigrant labor helped build America. From the railroads to the factories to the farms that feed us, immigrants are the backbone of our economy. U.S.-born citizens commit crime at twice the rate of undocumented immigrants. Immigrants make our communities safer. Over 80% of Americans are immigrants or descendant from immigrants. Whether you or your family came from Italy, Egypt, Mexico, or elsewhere, I say you are welcome here, and the good members of this community welcome you here. We want you to build a life, a family, a diverse and vibrant community, and respect others as they do the same. But a disease spreads across this country. Racism and xenophobia have been weaponized into policy to divide working people, strip communities of power, and justify cruelty and violence. Congress and the President increased ICE's budget from $6 billion to an unprecedented $85 billion, more money than all U.S. law enforcement agencies combined. We have no money for health care, no money to end homelessness, no money for food, but endless money for masked stormtroopers terrorizing our communities, endless money for Alligator Alcatraz and the expansion of concentration camps in the carceral state, endless money to detain, kidnap, and murder without due process and in violation of our constitutionally guaranteed rights. Luis Gustavo Nunez Caceres, Geraldo Lunas Campos, Victor Manuel Diaz, Parity La, Renee Nicole Good, Luis Beltran Yanez Cruz, Eber Sanchez Dominguez, and Alex Preddy. Our tax dollars funded the murder of these 8 people, murdered by ICE agents. I envision a future where our government spends money to uplift, not oppress. The president inflames this cruelty. Congressional Republicans and Democrats alike continue funding ICE, and state politicians speak loudly but take no measurable action. Our community defends itself through people-powered coalitions, educating the public on their rights and patrolling our streets. We hold rallies speaking out against this cruelty, violence, and rising right-wing fascism. We elected you Burbank City Council members to lead, in good times and bad. I see some of you at these rallies. I hear some of your disgust towards this state violence. Fascism takes hold when those who can speak against it choose not to.
Thank you for your comment. Next up is Joe Pimienta and a dinosaur and an elephant drawing. And next behind Joe is Liz Radley. Welcome. Dinosaur and elephant. Yeah.
Somebody's got to bite the stars, right?
Welcome.
Thank you. My name is Joe Pimienta. Thank you for having me. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council members, staff, and everybody present in the chamber. I'm going to follow up a little bit on what the previous speaker said. So 2 weeks ago in the last meeting, I called in and it was said that there was difficulty hearing. So I'm just going to repeat a lot of what I said. So the preventable yet inevitable finally, it has happened, where ICE is now murdering civilians within the streets for exercising the First Amendment right. So I will say that flat out that all of us have the responsibility to demand the abolishment of ICE. Now, unlike many people who are also protesting ICE, I do not agree with comparing ICE agents to the Gestapo, simply because that provides some kind of distance between, and it absolves us from actually taking accountability, because this kind of terrorism is homegrown. Remember, this is the country that was founded on genocide. This is the country that lynched people for the color of the skin. This is the country that has, that burns crosses in front of people's lawns. This is the country of Operation Wetback and the Chinese Exclusion Act. However, we are also the country of the First Amendment. We are also the country of the Black Panther Party. We are also the country of the Chicano movement. We are also the country that has done very amazing things and keeps providing fantastic art as well as providing community. So as to my point, we are basically providing, it basically comes down to how you will remember. It depends on who's telling the story, which is why I invite all of you to actually say, abolish ICE. Now, some of you who are present on the dais have already said multiple times where you stand. Some others have remained silent, and others have said they are actually doing a good job. That being said, what it is, I do think that there is a moment to continue and to reflect, and therefore say out loud in front of everyone to your constituents, abolish ICE. With my last minute, I would just like to remind everyone that as a participant with the Burbank Tenant Union, we continue to see people being displaced for no-fault evictions, which is why I think that we need stronger tenant protections along with a very strong rent cap in order to make sure that people that are living here can remain sustainable lives, which reflects on a better quality of life. I also think that it's better to have alternative modes of transportation, which is why we need to stop prioritizing single-use vehicles or cars more specifically, because that is what provides safer streets. You see it everywhere. You see it on Magnolia Street where there's more room for outdoor seating. You see it for people that ride the bus. You see it for people that ride their bikes. It's just flat out better. It's just safer too. And lastly, of course, with just my last 20 seconds line, thank you for your work. Thank you for your service. And of course, protect trans rights, free Palestine, and as always, have a good evening.
Thank you for your comments. Next up is Liz Radley, followed by Kenny Lim. Welcome.
Good evening. Nice to see you all. As always, when I'm here, the magnificence of what is behind you enhances the view of those of us speaking to you. You're going to hear from me 3 times tonight, so I'll keep it short. Nothing bad. Okay. One is just to update you in case the information hasn't come through, that there is a new bridge coming soon adjacent to the Glendale Rancho between the Griffith Park Dog Park and DreamWorks, which will be for pedestrians and cyclists. I thought that might be of interest because once you're on a bike, you can go far and enjoy coming on a loop rather than having to come back with the same bridges that you're sharing with cars. The second thing is the Glendale Fire Chief was kind enough to join me on an updated tour of the Rancho recently. As you know, the Rancho is Burbank, Glendale, and Griffith Park. It's really one equestrian and neighborhood community. And we discussed, and so I'm bringing to you, when you cross the Mariposa Bridge and you make a right, you're still in the city of Burbank. You can see on your city maps. To the right there, before you go under the tunnel, there's a triangular area just before where the freeway and the river cross. That area is in Burbank. It's very overgrown, there's a lot of vegetation, and perhaps it would be an opportunity to review controlling that vegetation before it becomes dry. There's a high fire risk there. It's very hard for our services to get to, and it might be wise to reduce the fire risk there, particularly as we all know embers could carry very quickly over to the Valley Hot side of the freeway. So thank you. I'll be back later.
Okay, thank you for your comment. Next up, and my last card, is Kenny Lim. Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Kenny Lim. I'm an attorney with the state of California. I'm actually here on the closed session meeting for item B2, and I would heavily ask that the City Council reconsider its decision to proceed forward with litigation. I'm here on behalf of my firm as well as my client, Ethos Properties. And the reason why I would ask that the City Council reconsider its position is because we believe that if there is litigation filed, that it would be subject to an anti-SLAPP motion, and that essentially the city would be paying for attorney's fees for us to have to defend against such frivolous filing of a litigation. Again, the anti-SLAPP motion, as I'm sure the City Council is aware of, allows for litigants or defendants to file a motion with the court to dismiss the case in the event it is seeking to chill the actions or speech of its citizens. And that's precisely what that litigation would be. We're not opposed to speaking with the City Council directly. In fact, we've been in communication with them, their office directly, to see if we can resolve this without the need for litigation. In fact, we stated our position in regards to that litigation, and we received a short email saying we will file litigation. Again, I want to save the city money. I'm not asking you to pay for attorney's fees in this case at all. I'm not asking for that at all. What I'm asking for is for us to resolve this case in relation towards the eviction case. So the underlying case that we're referring to, as I'm sure you guys are aware, is the eviction case. The eviction case itself, there have been many defenses that the City Council or the city attorney has stated in their email to our office. Again, I'm sure that the City Council is aware, those can be asserted as affirmative defenses in the pending UD case. The issue with that is if there's a separate litigation that's filed, it's going to cause further attorney's fees, further costs, and further loss of time for everyone involved, and it's a waste of resources for everybody involved. I want to add again that the tenant protections that are already in place for the tenants that are part of this city are applicable to the UD case in itself. And I also want to mention that this particular case, they are already represented by Inner City Law Center. And if the City Council or if the City Attorney wants to assist in that, they can assist in that UD case. Again, I'm trying to urge the city to not force us to file an anti-SLAPP motion that we will win and ask for attorney's fees on that. If the city attorney's office wants to intervene, they should intervene in this eviction case itself, therefore not subjecting yourselves to further liability for attorney's fees. If the City Council still decides to proceed forward with the case, I'm not going to be upset. I'm just going to be disappointed. Because at this point, I'm asking the city to save its money. I'm asking the city to allow us to fight it out in the eviction case where that defense should be heard. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. We have completed our in-person general public comment, and we'll be moving to call-in public comment. Madam City Clerk, do we have any callers on the line for public comment?
We have one, Madam Mayor.
All right, please remember to lower the volume on your TV or computer and take your phone off speaker when you deliver your public comment. Please bring the first caller in.
The first caller is Fred Masabaki.
Hi. Good evening, Madam Mayor, Vice Mayor, and council members. My name is Fred Masepke. I'm calling speaking about item O1 for the infrastructure board. I've placed my application in, and I know I've heard from a couple other candidates in person there, and I've read through all the applications, and you have a lot of great applicants there, and I thank you for your time and consideration to read through them. I'd like to say for myself, I've been over 20 years working as a civil engineer, a licensed civil engineer. Have been engineer of record on multiple large projects for municipalities as well as private clients, ranging from anything from like a $10,000 repair to projects that are over $25 million. Always a focus on quality, looking at sustainability, and myself just well versed in building codes as well as the various city requirements and permitting agency requirements. I've worked alongside staff as well as working committees and presented in front of commissions for various cities. Personally, I've been a resident for over 14 years now. My wife works in Burbank schools. My 3 kids are in Burbank schools, and just looking for another avenue to give back to the community in addition to being a coach on a couple of their sports teams. So I appreciate the opportunity and your consideration for this vacancy on the Infrastructure Oversight Board. Thank you.
Thank you for your call. There being no further public comment, I now declare the general public comment period closed. Now is the time for a brief response from City Council, City Manager, and our City Attorney. Do we have any response from staff? Yes.
Just one, Madam Mayor. Thank you, Ms. Radley, for the information about the overgrown vegetation. We will make sure that staff go out and take a look at that and see if we need to do anything to better manage that area.
Okay, great. Any other response? No? All right. Any comments from council? Brief comments. Go first. Councilmember Anthony.
I got here just in time. Okay. Apparently I missed a bunch of fun stuff. Hey, everybody. Sorry I'm late. I want to thank everybody for coming down and taking a lot of this in tonight. Trying to get my head wrapped around council mode, right? We got to get into council mode. Normally I do it beforehand, but I'm coming in a little late tonight. Thank you to the folks who are applying. There will be another opportunity later, so we may hear from some of the other members. But I always like to see engagement, active engagement, to come down and apply for these vacancies, and we'll get to that later. Thank you to our county supervisor, Catherine Barger, for that promise of $100,000. I think that's going to be fantastic. Appreciate her representative coming down here, and I look forward to that event. I'm going to leave it at that.
Okay, great. Thank you. Any other comments? Yes, Vice Mayor.
Thank you. First, I'd like to congratulate the Waste Warrior graduates. There are a lot of them. So good job that you're taking your time to actually learn about our recycling program. And then also to Ms. Beasley for receiving the Black History Month proclamation. Her speech is amazing. I was really impressed, and congratulations to her and everyone for the Black History Month. Natalie, with Catherine Barger's office, the supervisor's office, we're always happy to take your money. So we appreciate that $100,000. And if you are listening and you have another $100,000, please bring it our way, because I won't have any problem accepting that when staff brings it to us. And it's going to great cause. Now, Mr. Smith, we're going to talk about the appointment to the BCC coming up, along with Mr. Davis as well. Thank you for being here, but we will be addressing that item when we go down on the agenda. And Ms. Bradley, it's always a pleasure seeing you coming to the meeting. I haven't seen you in quite some time, but thank you for being here tonight. And as you heard, staff will address the concerns for vegetation. We like to hear these things because obviously we don't get to be out there and see it, so always welcome to come in and let us know. And then also, Fred, the last caller, in regards to the BCC, we're going to address that on the item. But everybody else that spoke, thank you for being here tonight and taking your time to let us hear your voice. Thank you.
Yes, Councilmember Rosati.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Congratulations to Ms. Beasley on receiving the proclamation for Black History Month, and to our wonderful Waste Warrior program. Congrats to all those people. And thank you, Natalie, for your $100,000 for the FIFA event. That's shaping up to be quite an event for our community. Mr. Smith, Mr. Davis, and Fred, I'm sorry I missed your last name. Thank you for appearing and calling in for the IOB position. And then, Ms. Radley, I did not recognize you without your hat. So I did a double take, and I was like, hey, no. But thank you for coming. We wouldn't have been out on our horse, so we would not have seen the overgrown brush. So we appreciate you bringing that to our attention, and I'm sure you'll be here for the other item on the agenda. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Councilmember Perez?
Man, I knew something was missing. I couldn't put my finger on it, though. Thank you to everybody that came to speak. Thank you, Liz, for always coming down and sharing equestrian updates with us. I know we'd heard a little bit about the bridge project, but thank you for putting it so beautifully for us and for everybody in the community who's interested. You are a wealth of knowledge. Also, thank you to Nat. It's good to see you again, although you don't cover Burbank anymore. And thank you to Supervisor Barger for those 100K. We will put them to good use. And like my colleague mentioned, if you have another 100K, we will put those to good use too. I'm very excited for everybody to see and for the public to see what we have in store for the Olympics. We are obviously not hosting anything, or any games, but we have a lot more that we can do as a city to highlight tourism, to highlight our city, and we hope you all are a part of it. For the folks who applied on the IOB, like my colleagues mentioned, we'll talk about it when we get to the item. But I did want to mention one thing, because I know some folks shared there's nervousness about public speaking or coming before us here. I know it's mentioned in the process. It may not be as highlighted, but you are welcome. And in fact, I dare say, on behalf of my colleagues, encouraged to reach out to us individually as well, to each of us via email, ask to meet with us, ask for a call. We really do want to get to know you all, and I know that this setting may not be the most personal way to get to know us, so please do reach out individually. We don't bite, and we all love to hear from you and chat and get to know you better and ask questions and just converse. So thank you to all of you who applied, and I hope to see more folks reach out in that way. Let's see. And then finally, thank you to the folks that continue to speak on the atrocities that ICE is committing against members of our national community, quite frankly. It's horrible to see. Thank you for continuing to come back every week and reminding us all that this is not something we can ignore, and that just because the unimaginable and murder hasn't happened here doesn't mean it can't. And thank you for keeping us posted on that all the time. I also want to take a moment to thank the mayor for including language in our legislative proposal that asks for humane immigration processes. And I want to thank all of my colleagues on the dais for supporting my addition, for supporting federal legislation that removes funding from ICE. So thank you to all of my colleagues for that. And as you've said before, that you want action, and I think that is what communities can do to speak up. So thank you all for coming down, and I agree, the federal government needs to abolish ICE. So thank you for that.
Thank you. As always, thank you all for coming tonight to speak, taking time out of your lives to come to our city council meeting and sharing your concerns and perspectives and experiences. Thank you to all who emailed and phone called in meetings since our last city council meeting. There were a few folks who spoke about the IOB. We'll get to that in a little bit, but thank you for speaking about the IOB. I appreciate you introducing yourselves. To Ms. Vartanian, I want to reflect the other comments from the other council members. We're so happy that Supervisor, thank you. Supervisor Barger is supporting us in this endeavor to be participating in the LA World Cup and offering $100K for this. I'm so excited about that. Mr. Scroggs, thank you for sharing the information about the post-production bill that is potentially being crafted. So I'll definitely connect with our assembly member about that. And also thank you for sharing your positive experience you had with our Cultural Arts Commission event to encourage them to continue to have these. It's a lot to put them on, so it's really good for them to hear it. And let's see. And then Ms. Radley, thank you also for sharing the information. And you mentioned the new bridge that's being made for bikes in Glendale. I'm wondering, staff, if we could possibly find out what that's about and get a quick memo on what that bridge is, would be great. Thanks. And then lastly, to the folks who spoke about ICE and immigration, I also received a number of emails and phone calls during the week around ICE and immigration in general. So regarding comments that I received, emails that I received regarding comments about the Armenian businesses, our Armenian community is an integral part of our city's fabric, from historic landmarks to local storefronts that anchor our neighborhoods. Armenian residents and business owners contribute immeasurably to our local economy and cultural identity, and so that's a long way to say that I don't agree with those comments that were made on the internet. And then also regarding ICE specifically, I recognize the legal jurisdiction boundaries between local and federal authorities, but I will be clear. ICE's use of unconstitutional force, deceptive tactics, and the denial of fundamental rights is unacceptable. Just because it's happening without recourse doesn't mean it should or will ever be normalized. No matter how much they try to get us used to it, we will never get used to it. It'll never be okay. This will never be okay. So what ICE has become needs to be ended, and it needs to be removed from the federal budget. Next meeting, I hope that you will join me in recognizing the Japanese Remembrance Day for the first time in the city of Burbank. This happened in our country then, something like this, and it wasn't right then, and it's not right now. So I will say about that. All right, thank you all for your comments, and moving on to the next item on the agenda.
Madam Mayor, can I just thank you for bringing up the comments, the targeting against our Armenian community? The news cycle moves so quickly these days, we can forget what's just happened. So I think we all really appreciate you bringing that up. Thank you.
Yeah, I had it on my notes a week ago to say it, so yeah. All right, let's see. Next up is going to be the consent calendar, which may be enacted in one motion. Madam City Clerk, please read the consent calendar.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have 5 items on consent this evening. Item 1 is approval of the City Council minutes of the regular meeting of January 27th, 2026, and the dark meeting of February 3rd, 2026. Item 2 is adoption of a resolution approving an on-call services professional services agreement template for building and safety, planning, and transportation planning consulting services. Item 3 is adoption of a resolution authorizing the General Manager of Burbank Water and Power to execute the contract with Doty Brothers Equipment Company for the distribution underground conduit system and related substructure improvements citywide. That's bid schedule number 1547. Item 4 is approval of an agreement between the City of Burbank and the Los Angeles World Cup 2026 Host Committee to designate Burbank as an official fan zone for the FIFA World Cup 2026 and approval of a professional services agreement once finalized in a form approved by the city attorney, and to amend the fiscal year 2025-2026 adopted budget by appropriating $175,000 in funding. And item 5 is approval to amend the transit operations and maintenance agreement with MV Public Transportation Incorporated and approval of a budget amendment for fiscal year 2025-2026. Thank you.
Thank you. Before we entertain a motion, I was wondering just briefly if we could hear from Parks and Rec about what, item number 4, what is an official fan zone? I'm wondering if we can maybe get a little bit of an overview of what that is.
Actually, let me pull up call up our economic development manager,
Perfect.
Mary Hamzoyan, who will be glad to give you an overview of what being an official fan zone means.
Great, thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and members of the City Council. Mary Hamzoyan with the Community Development Department. So an official fan zone is an actual designated official fan viewing party for FIFA. So as you know, FIFA is coming to the Los Angeles area. And we are designated as an official fan zone for July 18th and 19th. And that means we're going to have a very large viewing party here in our downtown. And we'll be able to show the licensed FIFA games, and those are that's the days of the finale, and have a big party celebrating that. So in that party, there will be ability to view the event. There will be an activation zone for family and community engagement. There'll be lots of food trucks because we're anticipating to have, upwards of maybe 20,000 people per day coming to the event. So lots of people coming into our restaurants and shopping at our stores, but we also want to supplement that with some other options such as food trucks. And then an international street fair celebrating FIFA, celebrating everything that it is and all the cultures that it represents, and all the cultures that we have here in our community. So it's pretty much a big celebration and a big party, and you get to have fun and see the game. Yeah.
Great, wonderful. Thank you for sharing that.
Of course.
Great. All right, if there aren't any other questions for staff, then entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent calendar.
All right, first.
Second.
I think Vice Mayor was very.
fine. Oh, it's a tie.
No,
really
you're
close
good.
though. All right, Vice Mayor second. All right, Councilmember Perez first, Vice Mayor second. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Anthony?
Yes.
Councilmember Perez?
Yes.
Councilmember Rosati?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Mullins?
Yes.
And Mayor Takahashi.
Yes. Thank you. All right, next item. This is a time and place for the hearing for project number 2400000695, adoption of a resolution designating the house at 1515 East Alameda Avenue as a historical resource. If you wish to comment on this item in person, please present a salmon public hearing card to the city clerk. If you wish to speak over the phone, please call now at 818-238-3335. You will be placed in a queue until the public hearing comment period begins. Before we begin, are there any disclosures from council relating to this hearing?
No disclosures, but I do need to go pump.
Okay.
I will be back before the vote.
And you'll watch?
I will be watching.
Okay, great. Any disclosures?
I went up to the house and I don't know if it was a neighbor, but I did have a conversation with someone there that was asking me what I was doing, and so just disclosing.
Okay, thank you.
That definitely sounds like a neighbor. What are you doing here?
Thank you. Any other disclosures? No? All right. Madam City Clerk, have the notices as required by law been given?
They have.
Do we have the complete file of exhibits, correspondence, and other documents?
You do?
Has the city received any written communications on this matter, and have they been provided to all city council members?
We received no correspondence on this item.
All right, great, thank you. Will the representative of the Community Development Department please introduce yourself and summarize the matter for us?
Hello, may I have the slides up, please? Good evening, Mayor Takahashi, Vice Mayor Mullins, and members of the City Council. My name is Eduardo Rendon, Assistant Planner with the Community Development Department. The item before you this evening is a request to designate the dwelling at 1515 East Alameda Avenue as a historic resource. The owner of 1515 East Alameda Avenue, Patricia Tomaszewski, submitted a request to designate the exterior of the subject building as a historic resource. The property is located between South Sunset Canyon Drive and South Bel Air Drive and was constructed in 1923. The History Resource Management Ordinance, BMC Section 10-1-1926, details the city's process for designating local historic resources. In short, the ordinance establishes 4 criteria for determining if a resource is of unique value. of this history of Burbank, or is a representative example of a particular architectural style and should be designated as an official historic resource. As noted in the published staff report, this property is eligible for designation under Criterion C, which states that the property embodies the distinctive characteristics of a type, period, region, or method of construction, or represents the work on an important creative individual or possesses high artistic values. During a regular meeting of the Heritage Commission on August 7, 2025, the city staff presented a full report detailing the proposed designations. Following the report, the Heritage Commission unanimously adopted a resolution recommending the City Council adopt a resolution to designate the property at 1515 East Alameda Avenue as a historic resource. The house at 1515 East Alameda Avenue is a one-story craftsman-style residence built in 1923. The home was built towards the end of the residential development boom period of 1912 through 1928. Most homes built in Burbank during that time were often associated with working and middle-class families. The establishment of the film studios and aircraft manufacturing plant during the late 1920s led to the expansion of small residential development at the northeast and southwest side of the city. However, the start of the Great Depression in 1929 put an end to the boom period. The subject building exhibits the character-defining features associated with the craftsman style, which focuses on blending in with the natural landscaping. The exterior of the building appears to be in good condition and has been well maintained over the years, although repairs and restorations are needed to further address deteriorating and exposed areas of the foundation and driveway. On this slide, you can view some of the character-defining features of a residential development boom craft style home. The building features a cross-gabled roof with broad exaggerated eave overhangs that are deeply flared and rounded, a common craftsman style detail. Though most likely originally constructed with wooden roofing shingles, the city of Burbank has banned wood roofing materials as a highly flammable public health and safety standard. Consistent with the craftsman style, the design features a large covered concrete porch extending as a porte cochere supported by triple square wooden posts on tapered river rock piers with concrete caps. River rock is a key character-defining element visible in both the piers and exposed foundation, which also shows later concrete reinforcement typical of seismic retrofitting for building of this era. The building is clad in horizontal woodlap siding, painted olive green with contrasting purple trim, highlighting its original craftsman style wood windows with true divided lights, substantial trim, and projecting sills. Notable features include prominent grouped windows on the street-facing and north elevations, as well as a wide multi-light wood front door with side lights. A detached garage added in the late 1940s has been altered with stucco and a metal door, but retains original wood windows consistent with the main house. Minor alterations appear to have been made to the non-publicly visible rear elevation and to convert one secondary door on the north elevation to a window. However, these alterations were made consistent with the Secretary of the Interior standards for rehabilitation, and the original shape of the door has been maintained and represented using wooden trim materials. It is staff's assessment that there is no evidence of non-original work. To designate a property as a historical resource, the City Council must find that the proposed historic resource meets at least one of the criteria established in BMC Section 10-1-926. Based on the information available, staff believes that the subject property satisfies criterion C and thus is eligible for designation. The house reflects many of the essential aspects of integrity and character-defining features for a craftsman-style home built during the residential development boom period. As such, staff recommends that the City Council find the project exempt from CEQA and adopt a resolution designating the house at 1515 East Alameda as a historic resource. This concludes staff's presentation. We are available to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation. We will now hear from the applicant or the representative. You will have a maximum of 15 minutes to make your presentation. We have the applicant here tonight. That is totally fine. This is a public hearing, so you get your 15 minutes.
Don't really have anything prepared. Good evening. What would you like to ask me?
Maybe share with us why you'd like to have it be designated as historical.
I want to give something back to the city. I've been here for over 40 years, and would like to have it preserve some of the old stuff to have people drive by and go, oh, that's what it used to be. It's a double lot. That was a standard lot back in the day. That's kind of cool. And it's just a small one-bathroom, two-bedroom house. It's not that big itself. It's nice to have people be able to come in. I've had a lot of contractors come through and look at it and go, oh, wow, look at this. I said, this is what they used to be back in X time. And so most of them are very young, and their heads just exploded and went, oh, my, really? This is what it's got a neat group of people that owned it. Nobody really super special as far as I could tell. I'm probably the most famous person who's been in there. We both work in entertainment, my husband and I. But I'm looking up their history and trying to find those pictures of the old stuff. It's just hard because it's people move, people go on, people, yeah. I'm going to find some more stories, though. I think they're there to get. That might be fun, too, to see who came in back in the day, started the city, who's here now. And hopefully I can will it off to somebody in the city or something in the city. They could just keep it as a, I don't know, some sort of a community building. It'd be kind of neat to have. But that's about it. We're really working hard at getting something that old, something that was so derelict and borderline red tag, livable. It was quite the event to go through the stuff. The lady who lived there previously didn't let anybody come in and fix anything for the last 40 years. So it was, yeah. But I've had a contractor license and I fix up stuff, so it's like, I can fix it. It's got good bones. Okay. And here we are. 5 years later, we've lived in there for a year. We didn't live the first 4 years because there were strikes, there was COVID, and everything stopped. So we just sat there and went, crap, we can't fix it. So we're kind of at that point right now. We're doing the little stuff, some major stuff. I'll need these guys' help with like the roof and things like that as to what is good to do, what looks cool. There's a lot of options, just to make it look, just kind of be the places you can go by like this thing here when it was covered and drop ceiling and that was covered. How it's neat to walk in and go, wow, this is original from that time when the city was like this. You can just, it's nice to have it to build upon that as a city, not just everything new, shiny, new, no background. To have all this base is nice to see. That's what I'm kind of into in general. And I like to just give it because I've got it, and why not? It's kind of, I'm one of those nerds. I like that sort of thing. It's fun. So yeah, that's what I'm up to. And any sort of help, anybody want to recommend me, anybody to help come fix, and somebody wants to pick weeds and help, I'm still looking for people. It's a double lot, and it's just, it's a lot of land. Yeah. Yeah, that's about it. Thanks. Good to see you. That was my sister, I think, who barked at you if you came by. She was staying at the house.
Sister, not me.
She looks a lot like me, short hair. We almost look like twins. Yeah, she came on, she probably, yeah, she was very defensive.
All right.
Yeah, she's from Colorado. She's that, yeah. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Take care.
Thank you. We will now open the public hearing to hear from any persons who wish to speak on this matter. Each person may address the council on the public hearing item only. The public comment period is now beginning, and no additional cards will be accepted. Madam City Clerk, how many public comment cards do we have for the public hearing, and how many callers?
We have neither.
Neither. Okay. So based on 0 number of public speakers, we completed our in-person public comment and our over-the-phone public comment. And I now declare the public hearing, public comment closed. Does the applicant or staff have any additional comments to make? No? Okay. Does the council have any questions of staff? Yes, Councilmember Anthony.
I asked this the last time we had one of these hearings. When we designate something historical, what are the difficulties moving forward to change, update, maintain, repair that building?
Hi, good evening, Council. My name is Amanda Landry, Principal Planner with CDD Planning. Once a property is designated, the property has a covenant recorded against the title that requires that if they're doing any major changes to the exterior, the publicly visible exterior portions of the house that they get a permit to alter a historic resource, which is a staff level, a commission level review where we look and see if the proposed changes are consistent with the Secretary of Interior standards for rehabilitation. We do a lot of work with those individual property owners to make sure they understand what would be an appropriate type of change and consistent with the Secretary of Interior standards. Other items like ordinary maintenance and repair, anything done to the interior, does not require any special review. They just need a regular building permit if one is required.
Just wanted to follow-up question. Ms. Tomaszewski, could you mind coming up here real quick?
Hey.
Do you understand?
Oh, I get it.
Okay.
I need their help. At this point, I've restored more than you want to hear. It was red tag, borderline red tag. It was bad. Foundation up. I need help with somebody saying, how do I make this roof look right? It's a crappy Sears roof with nails sticking out of it. I want that to be redone, but I want it to be real. I'm just going to stumble over everything I've done around LA here in Pasadena. The Heritage Commission's there, and they don't have any help for me. I've asked for years now. So I'd be like, hey, guys, help me with this. I'm okay with a couple things I got to do. If I get to the point where I can expand the place, it's like that'll be another whole thing. That's a permit anyway.
Well, I just want to make sure you're comfortable that it takes collaboration moving forward. Once it's designated, it's designated.
Yeah, or I can, I want that.
Okay.
I kind of need the help with the
That's what I want to hear.
fellow nerds that will be, because it really is a thing with an old one. You're like, what do I do to not make it ugly? It's, meaning
Okay.
I've looked elsewhere, haven't found it. So any help is.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Thanks for asking.
Any other questions for staff? No? Okay. I don't have any questions either. So yes, did you? You're good? Okay. I now declare the public hearing closed and the council will now deliberate. What is the council's pleasure? Would someone like to make a motion?
I can make a motion if you'd like, Madam Mayor.
And a second?
I second.
All right, we'll put first and second. We get a roll call, please.
Do you want me to make the motion?
Oh, did you make, I thought you made the motion. You're right, you have to read the thing.
I'll read it. Adopt the resolution of the City Council, of the Council of the City of Burbank designating the house at 1515 East Alameda Avenue as historic resource pursuant to Burbank Municipal Code, Section 10-1927D, Attachment 1.
I second that.
Okay, now we have a first and a second officially. May we get the roll call, please, Madam City Clerk?
Councilmember Anthony?
Yes.
Councilmember Perez? Oh, sorry. Councilmember Rosati?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Mullins?
Yes.
Mayor Takahashi?
Yes.
Thank you.
Good job.
Out of order.
Okay, moving on. We have 3 reports to council this evening. Congratulations. After staff's presentation, the City Council will proceed with in-person public comment only. Speakers will be allowed to speak on the item at the conclusion of the presentation, as long as a speaker has not spoken on the item during the first period of general public comment. Please be sure to submit your public comment card now, as no additional public comment cards will be accepted once the public comment period following staff's presentation for each item. All right, the first item is the appointment to fill one vacancy on the Infrastructure Oversight Board for an unexpired term. Welcome, Madam City Clerk, Kim Clark, to please present the report.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Good evening. I'm Kimberly Clark, City Clerk. I will be presenting reports to Council item number 1. On January 2nd, 2026, the City Clerk's office began advertising and accepting applications for one vacancy on the Infrastructure Oversight Board for an unexpired term ending July 31st, 2027. This vacancy was created by the resignation of Board Member Linda Besson. To obtain qualified candidates, a notice of vacancy was advertised through the following channels: the city's website, City Council meeting announcements, all social media platforms managed by the City Clerk's office, press releases sent to the Burbank Leader and to myburbank.com, notices posted on the City Hall bulletin board, community groups and organizations, and through constant contact email notifications. The deadline for submitting applications to the City Clerk's office was Monday, February 2nd, 2026 at 5 o'clock p.m. The City Clerk's Office received a total of 5 applications. Armand Matavosian, Tanya Papazian, Ward Smith, Marcus Davis, and Fred Masabke. The applications are listed in the order received. Please note that applicant Tanya Papazian has also applied for the Art in Public Places Committee. If appointed this evening to the Infrastructure Oversight Board, this applicant's name will be removed from consideration for the Art in Public Places Committee appointment, which is tentatively scheduled to be presented to Council at the February 24th, 2026 City Council meeting. At this time, I'm happy to answer any questions Council may have.
Great, thank you for the report. I was wondering, before we move on, I'm wondering if maybe Councilmember Perez is almost done, if she might be almost on her way back. Do you happen to know?
Yeah, she said she's got about 5 minutes remaining.
Okay, so maybe we could, if you're okay with it, we could take a 5-minute pause just to wait for her to come back to do the vote? Or you guys with that? Cool? She wants to be here for that, yeah. So would that be okay with everybody? Yeah, okay. 5-minute recess until she comes back? Okay, great, thanks. Okay, guess I'll have to do this again. All right, we're back. Thank you again for allowing us to have a moment to bring Councilmember Perez back. All right, so now we move on to the public comment. So the public comment period for this report to council is now beginning and no additional cards will be accepted. Madam City Clerk, do we have any public comment cards for this item?
No.
No, okay. I believe they all spoke in the general public comment. Okay. So seeing that there are no public comment cards, we've completed our public comment for this report to council. Madam City Clerk, will you please?
You can tell I was watching the meeting.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes, Councilmember Anthony.
Before we go to a vote, I don't normally do this. I don't think any of us normally do this, but I've been looking through the resumes and I have one glaring hole that I'd just like to fill in. If it's okay, I'd like to ask one of the applicants just a question of something that they put on their resume. Would council be open to that?
I think that's a chair's prerogative, right? City Attorney?
Yeah, normally if there was public comment, the council would ask questions of the speakers and then you would deliberate.
Okay, yes, so please feel free.
Mr. Davis, you're still here? You have an impressive resume, but you're going up against people who have bachelor's degrees, master's degrees. Under education, you put high school diploma, some college coursework. Now, you don't need a college degree, obviously, to serve on a board or commission, but we're talking about very technical stuff. Can you just tell me why you never finished college?
Yeah, so when I was younger, unfortunately, my dad passed away just as I was going into college, and it just put a pretty big burden emotionally and financially on our family. And so unfortunately, I wasn't able to finish my college, but I have a tremendous amount of experience in this particular field. When I read this and I saw the civil engineers and architects and whatnot, I thought, yeah, I work with these guys every day. I point out mistakes to these guys every day. I look at budget reports and I ask the hard questions that have to be asked on things like this. And I thought, gosh, this couldn't be a better fit for me. I know I was really nervous earlier when I came up here and spoke. I apologized.
No, that's
my
okay.
wife texted me, said, hey, what's happening? Like, this is what you do every day. And I said, I don't know. I think I'm just nervous because I felt like I was having to sell myself or something. And she's like, stop selling yourself. Just talk about what you do and let them know who you are. And you know, it should be fine. So, yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yes, Councilmember Perez, your question?
Mayor, I actually have a follow-up question for the applicant. Sorry to put you back on the spot. I did want to ask, and some folks on their applications, and since you're here, I'll ask you, mentioned that they work for different kind of contractors or companies that may have business that might interfere with some of the votes on the IB. Does the company you work for ever do business within the city of Burbank with any large-scale infrastructure projects?
No.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for clearing that up.
No problem.
Did you have a comment?
Okay.
Thank you. And in the comment, just to follow up what Council Member Anthony had asked, because I before we take the vote, I personally do not look at whether a college degree or not to evaluate for a position. So I do appreciate your honesty and your coming up here. I got my college degree when I was an adult because of other reasons as well. So that is not the factor. It's more of the experience, matching the job, matching the qualifications. So I just want everyone who applied to know this because it's not really specific for that position. So thank you for explaining.
Yes, Councilmember Rosati.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just wanted to state the same thing. I was going to say it before the Councilman, Vice Mayor said it, but I look at the experience. I don't look at the education, the character, the experience, and can you donate the time? So appreciate you coming tonight.
Right, and before we do the vote, I wanted to just generally say to everyone who applied and came here to speak, we are so fortunate to have, I believe, 5 people who could do the job. I think so. And so I just want to say that whoever's chosen tonight, to congratulate them, and everyone else who is not chosen, please reapply to another board. Please continue to participate, because I think all 5 of you would be quality board members for our city.
And Mayor, we do have quite a bit of openings. The city clerk could tell us that. She always looks for people to apply.
Yes.
So please, please, if you don't get appointed tonight, go back on the website. There's an opening on BWP, plugging in some information there, and a lot of other boards and commissions if you're listening or you're sitting here tonight.
Yeah, great. All right, we ready to do the vote? Okay, so Madam City Clerk, can you call the vote, please?
I will call the names in order, and if I could see a show of hands. Armand Matavosian. Tanya Papazian. Ward Smith. Marcus Davis.
I would like to make a request to make that vote unanimous for myself, unless Councilmember Rizzotti as well. Don't want to speak
That's
for
good.
you.
Yeah, congratulations.
Okay. Congratulations, you've been appointed.
Marcus Davis is appointed. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. The second report to council tonight is the introduction of an ordinance amending Article 28, Chapter 1, Title 6 of the Burbank Municipal Code, Electric Mobility Devices. I welcome Lieutenant Barkis. Is he hiding? There he is. Okay, Lieutenant Barkis, to please present the report. Welcome.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council. Thank you for having me here today. And there we go. I always have a problem talking into this, so. Oh, perfect. Okay, our introduction to e-bikes. Just before I start, though, I just want to say, too, this has been a group effort. Kind of like when you're given a presentation for school and you realize you didn't do the majority of the work. Chris Bumono here from CDD has really put in a ton of time into this, and it'd be very difficult for me to put together a PowerPoint like he does. So I just thank him for his time before I start. And the City Attorney's Office, Ray, put in a lot of work on this, and Gina as well. So I just appreciate everyone's group effort in this. And we can get started. I came to council a while back and originally spoke about some of the concerns that we've been having with the community amongst the electronic bikes and the electric mobility devices that have been coming more and more into the city that we've seen, especially since COVID. Since then, you guys have asked us to go back and to do some research, which we have, and we'll go through this slideshow and kind of show you where we are in the process and how we got to where we are. So why we're here is to update the BMC, mostly to align us with the California Vehicle Code. Looking at our municipal code, a lot of it was geared towards pocket bikes, mopeds and stuff that were really big in the 80s and 90s in my era. And now with the electronic devices, we're just trying to get our verbiage to match with the California Vehicle Code, which has made a lot of changes recently to govern some of these devices. One of our main components too from the police department has been to enhance community education on these devices and to strengthen our enforcement efforts and ability, and to make the whole process a little more clear for everybody, because it was about as clear as mud the last time I came here and explained it to you guys. So hopefully between the California Vehicle Code and our municipal code, we can come to a little bit more clearer of an understanding. So some of the proliferation of the electronic devices that we've seen, especially recently, is we've seen a lot of electronic bicycles. Some of that we've come to learn are actually electronic motorcycles that don't have any lawful space on our streets. And we've seen electric scooters, skateboards, the hoverboards. I think there's even unicycles out there now. Pretty much if you can motorize it, they have it. Skateboards too. Some of the increased concerns that we've seen, especially from the community, is the improper use of these devices in the community. Our enforcement, the changing regulations, how they've changed quite a bit recently. Unclear on the categories of the different bicycles, the different bike lanes that we have, and obviously pedestrian safety. Some of the recent bills that have come through that have helped guide this new ordinance have been restricted sales of Class 3E bicycles for minors under the age of 16. There's also another bill that prohibits some of the modifications. Some of the things that we were seeing in law enforcement is some of these bikes that were technically motorcycles were having fake pedals put on them, or some of the bicycles had kits you could buy that would surpass the 20-mile-an-hour speed limit that are on them. Those are no longer legal. And then there's been some removal of prohibitions regarding some of the different where bikes are allowed and where they're not. And it definitely defines the electric bicycles as fully operable with pedals and an electric motor, not to exceed the 750 watts, obviously keeping it to hopefully a safe speed. These are the most common devices that we see out there, and we have some pictures up there for you as well. Obviously, the main one is the electronic bicycle. We do have some of the electric scooters we see around town. Fortunately, we don't see some of the rental companies here that seem to litter the streets of Los Angeles. The hoverboards and the different types of skateboards that are available motorized as well. I think that when we start to have some of the concerns for those of us that use our sidewalks and streets and ride and walk is that we see some of these devices that go well beyond the 28 miles an hour and have more of the capabilities of actual off-road motorcycles. So one of the things that you asked us, Council, was to talk to the community, and I was able to fortunately have the opportunity to go do that. We did speak with council, we spoke with police commission, transportation commission, and both senior and youth boards. I also held a public forum over at the ASB building, both in person and then online, to get some feedback. And overwhelmingly, the majority of the feedback that we got was the public just wanting to be educated on it and just understand. There were so many devices that came in to the market that they just wanted some clarification. So that's our goal, is to try to keep it as simple and clear as possible for everybody to understand. The main ones were which devices can be ridden and where. Obvious concerns of certain areas, including downtown, equestrian trails, the Mariposa Bridge, some of the concerns on what can be ridden where, and then also there's the devices that have been marketed as legal and come to find out that later on, once they have a collision or involved in some kind of a encounter with law enforcement, that they find out that the devices that they had were not legal to begin with. Some of the proposed BMC changes, the overall goal is obviously to have our municipal code aligned with the California Vehicle Code, which for the most part takes precedence on all of the laws as far as they go on a roadway. To add definitions, and that's what we did too, is we expanded and really defined what these devices are to make it clear for the public between the three different categories of electric bicycles. And this here, actually Chris put together, and it really clarifies, and I think this kind of helps simplify some of the different devices that we have, what are legal, where, and I think it makes it a little more clear for the public to see that and understand pretty much what's allowed. And as far as the electronic, the e-bikes and the concerns people had of if they're going to be allowed in certain areas, they're still going to be allowed on the bike paths that we have. We do have all 4 different types of bike paths here in Burbank, from the Chandler bike path to parts where it's the regular road where bicyclists have to share the road with vehicles, to where we have designated bicycle lanes, and then some that are actually, if you look like at Hollywood Way, there's parts where they're divided a little bit with delineators between the actual roadway and the bike path itself. So upon adoption of this ordinance, the first thing we do is listening to the community, and the education aspect of it is with our traffic bureau, Lieutenant Brimway, who's here with me. We plan on doing a 60-day grace period, obviously, we'll call it an educational grace period, where we're going to really target the schools with information. I think I explained to some earlier too, as It's about a 30-second time frame we have to get to teenagers for them to, for the attention span and before school and to play some of this information out. So we're hoping to really get the information to the schools and the general public as well, just for the parents to understand, what our goal is, and ultimately we're all parents too, and we want the kids to be safe. There's nothing worse than when we have a collision or something that's involving kids riding bikes, especially when it's just the reason that they're doing it is because them or their parents just didn't know that the actual device itself was not legal. Along with us and the PIO of the city, like I said, we'll be doing the social media campaign. Following that initial 60 days, we'd like to reach out, talk with the community as well to see what's working and what's not. I know some of the plans we do have would be some signage in some areas, but we'd like some feedback also depending on, I know there's debates over QR codes or just having what is allowed on certain paths and what's not. And then just continued ongoing public education. And that's something that we do all year through all aspects, whether it be electronic bicycles, whether it be student safety, pedestrian safety. We dedicate time throughout the year for all of those. And then our recommendation is to adopt a resolution of the City Council approving the ordinance amending Article 28, Chapter 1, Title 6 of the Burbank Municipal Code. And if we have any questions, I will do my best to answer them or to ask for help from my colleagues.
Great. Thank you for the presentation.
Of course.
We'll take some public comment, and then we'll get back to some questions follow-up, okay?
Perfect.
So the public comment period for this report to council is now beginning, and no additional cards will be accepted. Madam City Clerk, I see we have one public comment. Okay. So based on that, you have 3 minutes. I welcome Liz Radley for public comment on this item. Welcome again. 2 of 3, right?
2 of 3, yes, thank you. Yes, this is why I'm here. The Mariposa Equestrian Bridge, a historic bridge, as you know, was built to allow safe access for the horses that come from the Glendale and Burbank side and the Los Angeles Equestrian Center to the many, many miles of trails in Griffith Park, which is why we're here. That's why we have an equestrian district. It's the only bridge. It's very narrow. We know, Councilmember Rizzotti and myself both live where we have a direct view of people riding bikes on the trail. I've seen motorbikes going by. I don't see how it's possible to ever have any kind of wheels that are intended for transportation be safe in that little piece of Burbank over the bridge and right on the other side. I am a little concerned that as technology changes, that as we list the specifics for especially for that area, is there a way to make it be more general, like wheels used for transportation, rather than, oh, it's these kind of electric wheels, but these other wheels that are motorized, and is it wise to make it more general for the wording for the bridge? So I'm bringing that forward to you for consideration. And certainly just a reminder that if you do take a vehicle, I mean a bicycle or anything with wheels, over the bridge, you're entering an area that is specified by Griffith Park as being for feet, not wheels. You're onto a trail for people and horses, not anywhere that is legal for any kind of wheels. So it makes sense to continue to keep the barrier on the street side of Burbank, and please make the wording clear and simple, because we see a lot of people having fun with motorized, bicycles and whatever else is on the list. That it just doesn't work to mix them with horses. And in addition, 39 seconds. A note that our Glendale former police chief was recently hit by an e-bike on a horse trail so severely that he broke his elbow very badly. That e-bike rider did not stop, certainly did not render aid. I myself, not in that area, but have been hit by a bicycle at speed, they come up on you very quickly and silently. And there's a lot more risk to pedestrians than we realize, because as a pedestrian, you don't have a rearview mirror to know someone's coming up behind you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comment. Okay. Now we've completed public comment for this report to council. Does council have any questions for staff on this item? Councilmember Anthony first, and then Vice Mayor. Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Sorry.
Yeah, could
yes,
you-
Lorraine,
actually, my question pertains to that. The California Vehicle Code, does it cover equestrian bridges? Like, that doesn't supersede our authority to set up?
No,
Yeah, please.
Specifically, as a municipality, we have there's certain parts that we can curtail to our own, depending on, each city's obviously unique. They're going to have different rules when you go to Hermosa Beach than they would here, just because of the different type of environment that their city is in. So here specifically in this ordinance, and I was glad you brought that up, I did want, no person shall operate a bicycle, electric bicycle, or electric mobility device on an equestrian path defined as dirt, gravel, composed granite paths between Alameda and the Los Angeles River. And then it further goes in that no person shall ride, walk, or carry a bicycle, electric mobility device on the bridge. Besides horses, and it's just pedestrians. There's nothing else allowed on that.
Okay.
And that has been the rule, and it's going to continue to stay.
Thank you.
Any other staff responses to comment or? Okay. Yes, okay.
Good evening, Chris Bonomo, Senior Transportation Planner in CDD. I just wanted to add the one important part for letter J about no operation on a equestrian path. That is new, that did not exist before, so this is an addition to what was previously in the BMC before. And then for the bridge, the addition there is just the addition of electric mobility devices, clarifying that obviously electric bikes are also bikes, so they're not allowed on there, but there are other things now that people are riding, so adding those pieces. Thank you.
I've even seen someone riding around on an electric unicycle around town. I don't know if you've seen them or not. Yeah. So they're out there, all kinds of devices.
I'm going to ask you later to draw what that looks like.
Yeah.
So.
Creative. Yeah. Just standing there with his feet like that, and it's wild. So any questions? Let's see, I think Councilmember Perez, you had a question, or?
Yeah, did the Vice Mayor have? Oh, it was that. Okay, got it. I guess my questions were, and I definitely had that question too. Thank you, Liz. And so I think we've covered it. That covers all wheels. But my other questions were, you mentioned on slide number 4 some of the state regulatory changes. Are all of those as of this year? Did they go into effect like January 2026?
I'll double check, but I believe they've been, yeah, they are in effect as of now. I'm not sure if they all went on the same date, but they've slowly trickled in. But those are the most recent ones that are applicable to this.
Okay, interesting. So we have yet to see kind of the effect, and we're in essence at the same speed as the state on a lot of these regulatory changes.
Yeah, I think the state they saw the boom that we did, and they're catching up.
I hope so. All right, and then my only other question was, I know we talked about, I love this chart on slide 9 with the BMC changes in practice. It talks about additional local restrictions in the signage. I know we mentioned it briefly, we don't know what we're doing, but do we have any signs at all in the city that already mention like you can't ride here, or do we have anything at all?
Yes.
Okay.
There are some. I know there are some for the bridge right now, not allowing
It's definitely on the bridge.
bicycles across. And I'm not sure what the exact verbiage is on the Chandler bike path to recall off the top of my head. But I know that we do have different signs around the city.
And so are we looking at, how do I put this, like bolstering those, maybe making them flashier, brighter, adding to them? What does that kind of look like now that we have new new regulatory language, or if we were to adopt this?
I think that's going to be a joint effort between us and CDD, and obviously the city attorney as well. But I think that's going to be part of the 60 days of once the ordinance is passed, getting input, having our officers that are out there talking to the students at the schools, and talking to the parents, and just even my time when I was in traffic, having some of the parents come, not because they wanted to necessarily complain, but just because they wanted more information. And once they get that information, we get feedback from them as far as what's allowed and what's not. I think we can take some of that and probably come back and formulate a plan as far as what's best to educate the public. The one thing I've seen through all of this is there's so much information that simplicity is really the best way to go. So I would lean towards keeping something simple. And like I said, as we see this come out and we roll into the education part, and then from there go into like an enforcement period, we can kind of work with the city attorney and CDD as far as what's probably our best option, and obviously with council and what you've heard from the community as well.
Yeah, and this is just a comment. I'd love to see those at the end of the day, just because I can see it now, and I know from questions I've gotten from the public, if we were to put a sign that's like, no motorized vehicle, no motorized bicycle vehicles, or whatever we use language, we're going to get told, what is that?
Right.
What constitutes that? So I know you mentioned a QR code earlier. I think that might be a great idea or a path to go down,
Right.
just to be abundantly clear with folks, and they can have their questions answered in real time.
Correct. And to have that information just available. Maybe I'm only interested in what bicycle, and I can just click on that and see what's available.
Yeah,
So.
then you can't say we didn't tell you. Thank you. Those are all my questions.
Vice Mayor, you had a question?
Quick one. Signage also very helpful when, I guess you show what type of motorized we're talking about, because, so if there is going to be signage, or maybe on Chandler Bikeway, for example, this motorbike that doesn't have pedal can go like an X on it, mean you can't ride here. So, our younger generation don't think, well, let me push the limit and see if I can ride my non-pedaling bike. I don't know what they're called. They're motorized. But I think maybe putting in signage and X on somewhere where you're prohibited from riding, like on Chandler Bikeway, for example.
Yeah.
But I know you guys are going to do an amazing job figuring out what signage we need to use. I do have a question, and it's maybe a comment as well on the slide number 4 under AB 965, restrict sale of Class 3 e-bike to minors under the age of 16. Parents can buy it and hand it over to the kids, correct?
No.
Oh.
Yes. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, okay.
Yes, unfortunately,
I was actually
yes.
getting excited. I'm like, yeah, they shouldn't be riding at all.
Unfortunately, like I said, well, a lot of the stuff that we're seeing out there is it's parents, it's grandparents, it's aunts and uncles buying the coolest Christmas gift that these kids can have, and they're out riding it. And I don't think that probably the parents or the grandparents realize how fast those go until they see them. And it's not because they just don't know that they're illegal items, or they're only specifically for off-road use. Technically they're for off-road use, but they get advertised showing kids riding them down the street, and and people just assume that they're legal because they look like bicycles.
Yeah.
And the other problem too is, as technology advances, those big bulky batteries and bikes that we can obviously see are not legal are getting smaller and smaller, to the point where it's going to be hard to tell.
Faster, where they can hit you really fast. Right. Yeah, it's true. Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Anthony?
I wanted to ask, currently, a skateboard you can ride anywhere in Burbank. You can ride it on the sidewalk, you can ride it on the street, right?
You are allowed to ride them on the street. I do believe that you are not allowed to ride skateboards on the sidewalk. I'd have to double check. I've been reading a lot of the vehicle code recently.
Okay.
But
the reason I ask is because I'm looking at slide 9, and it says the electric motorized board you can ride on the sidewalk, which seems counterintuitive if you can't ride a skateboard on the sidewalk.
And I take that back. Part of the problem, my computer, I'm sorry, it's motorized scooters. There are specific sections for motorized scooters that are not allowed on sidewalks.
Right.
Yes, the skateboards, as of right now, according to the vehicle code, I believe that they are, regardless of being electric or not. There's parts that are allowed on the sidewalk, but there's still due regard for public safety.
Due regard for public safety.
Correct.
Okay. Now that leads me to my next question. Downtown Burbank, we don't allow skateboards.
Correct.
Would we, and this is basically an informational or educational question, would we consider changing the signage to, I think what the Vice Mayor was talking about earlier, pictures? I walk down, downtown Burbank all the time, and I see signage. Most people don't read, which is disappointing, just in society in general. Most people don't read.
Mm-hmm.
But if there's a photo or a graphic with a line through it, that might be easier for the average person to see, oh, no bikes, no skateboards, no scooters, that kind of thing. And maybe, yes, no unicycles. In just the downtown area, because it's much more restrictive, there might be maybe a little bit more effort put into something downtown. It's a
So,
little
Madam
different.
Mayor, we'll consult the Uniform Manual on Traffic Control Devices. That is a standard for warning devices, and we also need to meet certain statutory requirements. Not all notices, but certain notices are required within so many feet, and we wouldn't want to delete the textual description.
Sure.
Because that actually gives the public details as well as proper citation to the authority and those sorts of things. So
Okay, fair
we'll strike a balance between maybe alternative ways of getting people's attention, but also meeting minimum requirements for notice.
Yeah, and that suggestion is only for downtown because it's so much more restrictive.
Councilmember Rosati, do you have any questions? Comment later? You want to do it now, or you want to do it after we're done with questions? How about we wait for questions first and then comment? Okay, great. All right, so a couple questions. So you had mentioned that the first 60 days will be education focused, right? And it sounds like that's mainly about like outreach to the community meetings, partnering with USD, putting up a web page, that kind of thing. So when during that 60 days, are you also going to be, when you see somebody out in the community who's riding a bike or a vehicle that's not as prohibited, to, instead of citing them, you're going to educate them? Is that also part of the education process too?
Yes, it'll be community engagement with the officers as well. It'll be similar to when we had new laws that have been kind of a drastic change for people, cell phones, seatbelts, stuff that people, where it's a new law, and we realize that people have been doing things a certain way, so you got to have a little bit of a grace period. Part of that, especially with the youth that are out there that are riding, I learned a lot more from my first warning from a police officer than I did from my first ticket.
Right.
So I think that that's what our goal is, to get out there and to talk to people that are out there. And like I said, so many people have been responded positively when we just have conversations and educate them on what is legal and where they're allowed to ride and where not.
Okay. And then as we get to the end of 60 days or get past it, if you're going out in the community and continuing to see people not, oh, I didn't know that was the law, that wasn't the law, are you still going to be education first before citation first, or are you going to go right into citations after 60 days?
I think it's going to be a case-by-case basis. After that 60 days, we'll talk with you, we'll talk with the community and see where we're at. There's no rush to be in enforcement, but there is a rush to educate. I really, want to see the public just to know more before we start doing the enforcement side of things. And the great thing about our job is we still have the discretion of spirit of the law versus letter of the law. And a lot of these cases involving bicycles, involving kids, involving responsible adults who are just riding a device that they bought online, it's just education, because the majority of people just don't know.
Yeah.
And there's just so much that was brought in such a short time period. Could you imagine seeing someone on a unicycle, electric, riding down the streets?
Right. Seriously. And then does this ordinance change at all the helmet requirement?
The what? I'm sorry?
The helmet wearing requirement.
It's always going to be helmets for 18 and under on bicycles, on any motorized device under 18. And this only changes for Class 3 that you're required of 16 and above to still wear a helmet.
Okay.
Well, it's 16 and above to operate, and you must be wearing a helmet.
And that's the state level requirement? Okay. Was there any discussion around increasing helmet requirement? So it's just a little easier to enforce, everyone on an e-bike wears a helmet, or everyone, any age? Was there any discussion around that versus going the?
There really hasn't been on that end of it. I'd have to talk with the city attorney as far as, I don't know what we could make, what would be enforceable here as far as
Right.
the helmet law to override the vehicle code.
Okay. So did you say that e-bikes for kids are requirement helmets, but not for adults
So,
under 16?
yeah, everybody under 18 is required to wear a helmet.
Got it.
Regardless. The only thing that would be requirement would be anybody that's 16 and over on a Class 3 would be required to wear a helmet.
Gosh, that's too bad, because I have a Class 1 e-bike, and that thing goes quickly. I will never ride that bike without my helmet.
Yeah.
And I think everyone who rides an e-bike, just personally, everyone who, regardless of age, should be wearing a helmet, because if I were to crash on that bike and hit my head, it would be very, very bad. So it's not like about age or strength or, athleticism or youth. It's about just the fact that you're going 15, 20 miles an hour, and then you might spill, and then you have no helmet on. So my personal opinion.
We can let our friends at the state know what we think.
And then lastly, about unsafe riding in general, does this ordinance change your approach to how you address just unsafe riding on the sidewalk, on the street, in common areas at all?
I wouldn't say it really changes. The due regard for public safety has been a standard of our traffic enforcement for a long time regardless. And even with this grace period, our goal, like I said, is to educate the public. But if there's somebody that's acting so egregious on a motorized bicycle, or a group that's riding in a pack that's obviously going well above the speed limit and violating multiple vehicle codes, we still have the option to do an enforcement at this period. And I think we've all seen somebody who's dangerously ridden one of those devices, and I think most people would agree that maybe that's a time that we do enforcement on that. So like I said, it's a case by case, but I think the overall push on our end is just to educate the public.
Yeah. And I think beyond the education, I do think that the dangerous riding is the highest concern.
Oh, for
We heard
sure.
it tonight and during comments. We saw it in the emails. It's about, yes, the e-bikes are quiet and they're fast, but as long as they're being safe, folks are okay. It's the dangerous riding, really, that's very much the concern. So thank you for focusing on that. All right, so any more questions? No? All right, any comments? Councilmember Rosado, you want to start off?
Sure. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Maybe we can do a mayor's minute with your e-bike,
Yes, I was actually thinking about that.
right? I just want to say great work and a great report. I went to a lot of the community meetings, and I also, the police commission actually tackled this as well, and it was messy. It was a lot of information, and you guys really honed it down, and the report read really well and simple, and just it was very cohesive. So I just want to say great work to everybody that was involved in this. Part of the education I think I would like to see is yielding to pedestrians. I think a lot of people don't realize there's elderly people walking dogs and strollers, and a lot of times they don't realize they have to yield to pedestrians. So I'd like to see that part of the education. And that's really all my comments. Thank you.
Okay, great. Any other comments? Yes, Vice Mayor.
Just to add some more kudos to staff, I know this task was a lot of work to gather all this information, like Councilmember Rosati said, multiple boards and commissions, and I like the focus. Safety is very important. It's important to council, it's important to staff. This is why we're doing this. We want those who are riding the bike, especially our younger generation, is to be safe and we don't have fatal accidents. We also want to protect like the former Glendale chief, getting hit and breaking his arm. I've seen him. We've all witnessed, some of the kids riding their bikes very carelessly and they just going really fast. Stressing the fact that we are doing this to keep everyone safe and we don't have any major accidents is going to be really, really important. And hopefully the message hits home, with some of the riders to know that this is important for the city and this is why we're doing education and grace period. And we could go straight to giving tickets and we're not doing that because we want them to be safe. That is our goal. So hopefully we get a report back after we put it to test for 6 or 7 months out there and see after putting the signage, maybe sometime in the summer, toward the end of the summer, we get a report back from the police department letting us know how it's going, if we need to adjust anything, if it's possible. I think we'll even a very brief report. Here's, success or here's the issues we need to take a look at. I would appreciate that. So I know we're going to get emails, from people complaining that they got a ticket or we're not doing enough on one thing or another, but I'd like to hear directly from staff what your experience out there has been with the public. Thank you.
Did you have any comments?
No, just thank you for bringing it forward, and I hope we bring some education to folks. We really want to see less collisions or less possible collisions out there. So thank you for putting this together. Thank you for being so nice and saying it was a team effort and giving everybody in the group project credit.
So you were going to make a motion, you have comments?
I was going to make a motion, but just building off of what the vice mayor is saying, is it possible, instead of the report coming directly to us, I'd love to get police commission to hear this first. When we have some data and we've actually seen something, go to police commission first before bringing it to us?
I'll listen to it twice since I sit on that. It'll be a pleasure hearing it twice.
All right, I'd like to.
Before you do, can I just make a quick? Yeah, thanks. So just I want to thank staff for really focusing on education and safety. I really, really appreciate that because as Councilmember Rosati said, there was a lot to talk about. It was messy. There were a lot of concerns and a lot of confusion. And I'm just really happy to see how well all the staff worked together, hone it in to focus on the two most important things, education and safety. During the education, it would be awesome if maybe you can even offer demos of e-bikes, have some e-bikes out there to show as well in person. And share the importance of wearing a helmet, even if it's not required by law, and how important that is. And then also just general e-bike safety, because it does go faster. And I ride my bikes, for example, I ride my e-bike on I think it's class 1, where it's just a stripe lane on, I think it's class 1 bike lane, I'm not sure exactly the classes, but just a stripe along the side next to the cars. And I'm in between the cars and the parked cars. And normally that's okay, but if I'm going fast and someone opens their door, I have no time to get out of the way. And so it's just really important to remember that being doored is a really higher potential if you're on a fast e-bike. And then cars turning, if you're going faster than a typical bike, they not realize that you're going that fast. And so just kind of teaching folks that when you're on a faster bike, it's just, there's a little bit more carefulness around it. Be great. And I'm willing personally to go out there and help you with that if you want and promote it. Yeah. I am. I'm willing to help promote it. You can take a picture of me with my bike. Absolutely. And but thank you all for all of that effort. I was a little worried as an e-bike rider that this would go sideways, and it didn't. It went really, really well. I was really happy I was ready to be redlining it. No, it was good. So
it went straight down the path.
I did go straight down the path into 20 miles an hour. All right. Thank you for letting me make my comments on that. Thank you for all the work you've done. And when you're ready to make a motion, Councilmember Anthony, I think you're ready.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Madam Mayor. I move that we introduce an ordinance of the Council of the City of Burbank, amending Article 28, Chapter 1, Title 6, Bicycle Paths, Trails and Bikeways, Equestrian Hiking and Recreational Trails, of the Burbank Municipal Code to update and clarify definitions of electric mobility devices, rules of the road, establish enforcement, and establish special rules applicable to the use of electric mobility devices on the Mariposa Street Bridge.
Second.
All right, we have a first and a second. First from Councilmember Anthony, second from Perez. Could we get a roll call, please?
Councilmember Anthony?
Yes.
Councilmember Perez?
Yes.
Councilmember Rosati?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Mullins?
Yes.
And Mayor Takahashi?
Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah. The third report to council tonight is the appointment of a city council member to participate in the Creative Industry Task Force. I welcome Ms. Mary Hamzoyan, Economic Development Manager, to please present the report. Welcome. Good to see you.
Hi, welcome back again. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the City Council, Mary Hamzoyan, Community Development Department. So the item before you tonight is a request to appoint a new council member to our Creative Industry Task Force. Just as a quick overview, in June 2025, the council established the task force as a temporary ad hoc body to help the city better understand and plan for the evolving needs of Burbank's creative economy. Since its formation, the task force has made excellent progress. It has convened multiple working groups that focus on key areas, including branding the city for the creative industry, workforce development, experiential design, and Creators Hub. These groups have met regularly to develop recommendations for these key areas of focus, and their work has also been reinforced through community input, including a well-attended public workshop held in January with approximately 80 participants. The task force is now entering its final phase with 2 more task force meetings remaining in April and June, with final recommendations presented to City Council in summer of 2026. At the January task force meeting, both council representatives, Councilmember Perez and Anthony, were present. Following that meeting, Councilmember Anthony requested to step down from the task force. As a result, we're here today asking you to appoint a new representative to the task force and fill this vacancy through council. This concludes my presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. We do have one public comment, so we'll go to that first, and then we'll come back for questions. All right, we have one public comment. Liz Radley, you have 3 minutes. This is 3 of 3. Welcome.
Thank you. I know you have heard from many people in Burbank how vital this is. And it occurred to me, I don't think I've ever mentioned that actually films is my serious line of work. I moved here from Washington, D.C. specifically. I drove directly to Burbank, and I've never left that Rancho area. I've worked on more than 100 movies, including the last 25 years with Clint Eastwood, bunch of TV shows. This is my line of work, and I've forgotten the last time I actually shot anything when I use the word shot, I mean with a camera in Burbank, because it's always take us out of town. I've spent way too much time shooting in various places in Georgia. Sorry, Georgia. Because I'd rather be here, and it's been just a long time, so I really welcome the fact that you're so diligently moving this forward. Things have changed so much in this industry, and we better lead it or we will be forgotten. Thank you.
Are you going to share with us a movie or name so we can go?
Okay.
I know. Well, she can share a name.
Also a voting member of the Motion Picture Academy, the Directors Guild of America. I think probably Clint Eastwood's enough, but I can. I got more if you want them. Thank you.
That sounds like a post-event conversation here. All right, thank you for your public comment. All right, now I've completed public comment for this report to council. So questions to staff or comments or thoughts? Or, yes. Councilmember Rosati, would you like to go first? And then.
I was just going to say, I think, if I recall correctly, Councilmember Mullins was in line for this position, then stepped aside for Councilmember Anthony. So I think we should go back to giving it to Councilmember Vice Mayor Mullins. Did I say that right? Did I mix it all up good? Did I confuse everybody? Councilmember, Vice Mayor, Mom, community member.
Can I just ask a question first? And this might be also for staff. You brought up a great point. So the mayor and I were looking at this, and the next meeting when we scheduled it is scheduled for April 22nd, which is the first day of the Cal Cities legislative summit. So I won't be there. I'll be at the task force. I don't know. That's something else to consider. since we only have 2 more meetings left, and I don't know if we can change it or if we can, like if somebody's not going to be there.
I'll be up there.
Yeah, I'm actually not going
Good.
to the Cal
Okay.
Cities. No. Yeah, I'm not going this year. So, and thank you, Councilmember Rosati, for bringing that up.
Better.
I know Councilmember Anthony and I were, chatting about during the meeting about him wanting to take that role on, and I yielded to him so he can serve. But now that he's stepped down, I'm more than happy to take on that role.
Yes, Councilmember.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Yeah, recently I've taken a position that is also advocating for bringing film and television and working on that, but it's more regionally, so I feel working on a regional thing and working on a local Burbank thing, not that it is a direct conflict of interest, but personally, I don't feel being in both rooms is prudent. First 2 meetings we had were great. I think we definitely need some folks in the next 2 meetings to be there. If you're not going to be around, I do remember the conversation, and I want to say thank you for allowing me to serve in that position for 2 of these meetings. So I'd like to move that the Vice Mayor take the second spot.
Okay, we got a motion. We have a second.
You're going to be at Cal Cities.
No, I won't be there. I was just saying it as like a PSA.
I'll be there. I'll be there.
Oh, you'll be there. Oh, okay. Well, great.
So you made a motion for
Made a motion.
Vice Mayor?
I'll second.
Second. Okay, let's do a roll call, please.
Councilmember Anthony?
Yes.
Councilmember Perez?
Yes.
Councilmember Rosati?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Mullins?
Yes.
And Mayor Takahashi?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for stepping in. Vice Mayor VM.
Vice Mayor, Dr. Professor, Council Member.
All right. We are
The
nearing the
Reverend
end,
Dr.
folks. We're
Vice
getting
Mayor.
there. Okay, now we will hear council comments, including reporting on council committees, assignments, attendance at conferences, regional meetings, community events, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All right, Vice Mayor Perez is ready with her paper up.
Council Member? You said Vice Mayor Perez.
All right,
We're doing great with the titles today. Y'all are making me feel
Everybody's
good.
Vice Mayor tonight.
There's no excuse. It's not that late. There's no excuse.
Y'all are making me feel good because when I was the mayor, I was like, yes, Council Member Hess. I was out of. Oh my goodness. All right. So on January 28th, I attended the Creative Industry Task Force meeting and excited to have a new colleague on there. On the 31st of January, I attended an evening with the National Animation Museum along with the mayor and Councilmember Anthony. It was great to hear about what they're working on and hoping we can help them find a space here in Burbank. I also later that night attended the Joining Hands Building Unity panel discussion at the United Methodist Church of Magnolia Park. It was a really wonderful event. They asked me to attend and share a little bit about what City Council is doing to stand with our immigrant communities here in Burbank. And they held from a multi-religious perspective what they are doing, what they see as their role in supporting immigrant communities. So it was a really beautiful event and well attended. And Councilmember Anthony was also there. Let's see. On Thursday, February 5th, I attended the SCAG Transportation Committee meeting and the SCAG Regional Council meeting as our District 42 representative. And then Friday, February 6th, I took a tour of PBS Studios here in Burbank. And we discussed a little bit about the impacts from the loss of federal funding, what they are looking for in state, city, and even county partnership. And I'll put it out there for all of you. The folks from PBS would love to meet with all of you and schedule a tour so you can all see they have an amazing space in the Worth building down by Providence.
Is Elmo going to be there?
Well, he might. He might make an appearance. But it's a great tour. I suggest you all take it. And then finally, last Friday, February 6th, I also took my official oath for the Film Commission. Yeah. Thank you. I am very excited to finally have a seat at the table for the city of Burbank on our California State Film Commission and to represent us well up there. So any thoughts on film from folks who might be listening, from my colleagues, and from everybody in the city? Let's keep filming here. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Rosati?
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and congratulations on that appointment by the governor, and I'd like to hear more. Maybe we give a report in the next few weeks. So, but that's quite an honor. On Saturday, January 31st, at 10 o'clock, I was at the Adaptive Hiking Ribbon Cutting with Vice Mayor Mullins. That was a great event and a lot of excited people. And then at 5 o'clock, I was at the Animation Museum. Really, it'd be wonderful if we can get that in Burbank. I mean, it'd just be so awesome. So I know a lot of people are working towards that. And then at 7 o'clock, I attended Luther Burbank's production of Newies, and that was a lot of fun. And that was very well attended by the students. And then later that night at 8 o'clock, I attended the Police Foundation fundraiser at Tequila's. And then on Thursday, the 5th, I went to the grand opening with Mayor for the ribbon cutting for Industrious, a new shared workspace. And really, first time I've been in that building, in that campus, since they remodeled it, and it's just stunning, fabulous. So anyone that works in that area, in the media district, that's just a great space to just work and also just hang out. So thank you.
Thank you. Vice Mayor, you want to go next?
That's the right type. Second. Okay, we're having fun up here. Wednesday, January 28th, I toured LA Castle Studio. Pastor Pfeiffer, actually, I had no idea I had another life, and that is actually working in the studio with his father. Very, very impressive. I was extremely surprised to the type of production they do in that studio. They can do a whole movie standing there on the floor of the studios, where they have the green screen and they changed all these different screens behind me. So definitely was very proud to see it and know that it's here in our city. The same afternoon, I went to the Senior Citizen Board meeting, and followed by January 31st, went to the Adaptive Hiking Ribbon Cutting, and I missed the museum, grandkids' duties, so I wasn't able to join all of you in the fun. So Monday the 2nd, I had lunch with Jamie Kaiser and Carmenita Hilfiger. Talk about some business community and some plans they have for future events in the city. And on Wednesday, February 4th, I attended the Domestic Violence Task Force. Went really well. We had a lot of good conversation about our role, and also just making sure that we have accurate information on all the agencies that help out with the domestic violence. And on the same day, I attended the Arroyo Verdugo GPA meeting, where we basically shared all information from Metro and from the LA County sales tax that they're proposing. And it's exciting because with Measure M, the city of Burbank, we actually approved it in the report that was presented to us. The city of Burbank, there's about $36 million. I believe it's either 36 or $26 million. But our share of that is about $7 million that is going to be coming to us. And it's every 2 years we allocate those funds. So the GPA approved it, and it's allocated based on population. So, of course, Glendale's getting about 10 million, and we're getting 7+, and Pasadena, and it goes on. So I'm really happy that, that funds can come in and we can use it towards our street plan or the bridge or any of the projects that staff will bring to us to recommend for next fiscal year. I also attended the SCAG Transportation Subcommittee, and I know Councilmember Perez was there, but I have to say they're new. Well, he's not really new. He started in 2021, but it's the first time he actually made a presentation for the entire transportation committee. Darren Kettle is the CEO. Extremely impressive presentation, and I have to say, and I think I mentioned to the mayor, it's my first time to really hear Metro staff or their CEO be so honest, frank about the real issues that are going on with Metro, which, talked about reliability, talked about budgeting. And I was really surprised to hear that about 77% of their funding coming from the agency itself, not coming from the fair. It was about 11% coming from the actual sales in the fair. I have the PowerPoint. I think I may, I'll share it with the council if they wish to. I think it's really good information. A lot of great questions from the city's concerns, of course, about SB 79, Metro, and all the things that we're all dealing with. But it was a really good presentation, and I'm happy to share the PowerPoint with everybody. And that was it. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Anthony?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Attended the second Creative Industry Task Force meeting. That was on Wednesday, the 28th. Went to the Transportation Commission meeting after that. And then on the 30th, 2 days later, Friday afternoon, I was at the Martyrs Memorial in Montebello, and we were holding a ceremony in remembrance of the Armenian genocide. And that was within 24 hours of the incident that you, Madam Mayor, had mentioned at the beginning of the evening, disparaging remarks towards our Armenian community in the greater LA region. And it's unfortunate that so much of the time we spent at that ceremony had to be taken away to address that issue. But we moved on, and we came together. The next evening, the National Animation Museum had their event. I want to give a thanks to Jeff Worth, who provided the space. That was a well-attended event. Folks flew in from all over. I met somebody from the Children's Museum in Indianapolis, where one of my very good friends that I've known for over 20 years works, and I'm like, hey, your boss is here. He's like, oh yeah, that's right. And we took a selfie, and we sent it to him, and that was fun. So no, it was a great event. And yeah, that was my week.
Okay. Let's see. On January 29th, I attended the online Golden State Neighborhood Protection Plan virtual community meeting. I always appreciate hearing the questions from the community, listening to see what their concerns are. And then on the 31st, I attended the California, Nevada, Hawaii, Kiwanis District convention at the Marriott. And that was cool. I'm a Kiwanian, been a Kiwanian for a number of years, and it was cool to be back with my Kiwanians and be able to offer the opening remarks. And I was also fortunate enough to be able to offer 2 workshops. So I offered a workshop on nonprofits working with local government, and I worked with another council member from another city. And then I also I did a workshop on a brief update on mental health and modern mental health approaches. So those were a pretty cool opportunity. And then that evening also went to the National Animation Museum event. And I wanted to let everyone know that on Thursday this week at 9 o'clock at the Cultural Arts Commission, they're going to give a presentation to the Cultural Arts Commission. So if anyone would like to, listen to that or step in if you're available. It's in the middle of the day, so it's kind of tough, I know. But this is the first time they've done a presentation for our community in a while, so it'll be kind of cool to hear what they have to say. Then on the 3rd, February 3rd, I got to visit our Children's Place preschool. I love visiting the kids. It's so cute. And then one of the little girls goes to her mom, Mom, why does the mayor have pink hair? And then her mom looks at me, and her mom has blue hair. And she's like, really? My daughter just asked that? It was so cute. So adorable. And we played the ground is lava, and it was awesome. Then on the 4th, I attended online the first National League of Cities first-tier suburbs meeting, where we got to kind of get to know each other and That is a really great advocacy group for first-year suburbs across the nation. And then on the 5th, I was at the SCAG Energy Environment Committee meeting. While you guys were in transportation, I was environment and energy in the other room. And we talked about a number of things, but one I thought was quite interesting for us is the transition to e-buses. And so I was able to ask some questions and to keep in mind how difficult it is for us to transition to e-buses. And then later that day at 3 o'clock, did the ribbon cutting at Industrious with Councilmember Rosati. Agreed, it's an amazing space. And then during the time since last meeting, I had several meetings with representatives from Home Again LA, St. Joe's Hospital, Warner Brothers, SoCal Gas, Marriott, Gary Marshall, Nick Schultz's office, Cal Cities, Metro, and SEIU United Healthcare Workers. I met with all those folks. Okay. And that's that. I did. I got them all. Next month, the next 2 weeks is some more groups. All right, now is the time for consideration of previously introduced agenda items. As a reminder, this is council's process for adding additional agenda items. The one item for consideration tonight was requested by Councilmember Perez during the meeting January 27th, 2026. Councilmember Perez will have 2 minutes to provide a brief explanation of the request, along with how the request ties to city council goals. After that, council will vote on whether or not the item should be added as an additional agenda item for consideration at a future meeting. If needed, council may provide clarification or additional information to staff regarding the agenda item request. All right, the floor is yours, Councilmember.
Thank you. So basically, as a quick synopsis, since we last, put this on the agenda, the City of San Fernando Council has approved hosting a vigil event based on a council-led proposal to organize an all-cities candlelight vigil to honor the lives lost in federal immigration enforcement incidents. The council directed staff to reach out to community organizations, faith leaders, and surrounding jurisdictions that would express interest in co-sponsoring. And the ask is basically that the council approve that should this event be approved by San Fernando and fully go through and facilitated as an officially sanctioned City of San Fernando event, the City of Burbank would consent to use of its city seal and to be listed as an official sponsor. And I know, just for background, the ask is currently going on to some of our neighboring jurisdictions as we speak. Can't speak for them, but I know that's happening, and the ask so far is the seal and hopefully your presence.
Quick question. When is the event going to take place?
We don't know yet. The City of San Fernando is still putting it together, but they have, in their deliberations, they are putting up the space, and they're looking for a local nonprofit to do the hosting of it, like the run of show, that kind of a thing.
The title sponsor invokes a monetary contribution. Are they asking for anybody to donate?
They have not. I know staff talked to them, and that has not been my understanding.
Yeah, at this time, our understanding is that there is no monetary request. It's just requesting partners within the region to utilize our city seal and invite other elected officials to attend if you're interested.
It's symbolic to show, we're all in unity and we all feel what our communities are feeling.
Yeah.
A question to staff: if we do approve this, would that need to be agendized on another meeting forward, or would this be enough?
Yeah, I think if the majority of the council body right now wants to authorize the city seal to be used, should in a city sanctioned event for the city of San Fernando move forward, you can go ahead and approve that right now. We won't have to bring it back for an additional report.
Okay.
And I think the caveat there is that it is the city running it. If they suddenly change and pass this off to a nonprofit to run it completely, like as a separate entity, and they're just donate, like, the distinction I'm trying to make, bringing in a nonprofit to manage everything is fine, as long as it's the city that's
yeah,
leading the
and they're
charge.
still looking. My understanding is that they want a nonprofit or a faith-based organization, since it is a vigil, to kind of just run the show. So it's not city staff running a vigil, but they are putting up the space, and it was agendized as a city sanctioned event by their council.
Yeah, I concur with Councilmember Anthony. I mean, if it's the City of San Fernando doing it and their name is on it and other cities are participating, and not to hand this off to an outside organization. So, using our city seal and using our name with the city of San Fernando as, municipalities, I'm totally fine with that. But we probably get more updates as we know when it's happening and what's going on before it's actually going on.
Correct. The council in San Fernando directed staff to come back to them with details as far as location, type of event, what date it would be, and then our council will approve it. So once we receive those additional details, we will provide those with council. If there appears to be any conflict with the direction that we're given tonight, we can readdress that as needed.
And my understanding is that they're reaching out to all the cities in the region with the same language. Like, would you support your logo and sponsoring a city-sanctioned event? Yeah.
Okay. Like what other cities also are involved. So
Okay.
be good to know.
Okay, so let's do a roll call on whether to do that. We don't have to do official motion for this one, do we, or?
I don't think so, but just to clarify, so this would be council approving us to move forward with the use of the city seal for an officially sanctioned vigil event through the city of San Fernando.
Yes.
Yeah.
So moved.
Second.
Okay.
I guess.
Okay.
Unanimous.
Unanimous?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, great, thank you.
We don't need to go.
Okay, great. Last item is now is time to introduction of additional agenda items. Do members of the council have any agenda items? I have one. This is I know, almost there. This is related to short-term rentals. So as we look ahead to several upcoming large-scale regional events and the associated increased visitor demand on our hospitality partners, I'd like to request that when staff returns with the previously requested council report on short-term rentals, i.e. Airbnbs, that the report include options beyond a full prohibition, including the possibility of a limited number of city-authorized permitted short-term rental units that we could potentially get TOT from. Thank you.
That's like half an additional agenda item. Because it's still in there, so.
Yeah.
Good for you guys.
Okay, now we're at the very last thing, which is adjournment. So we now adjourn the meeting to Tuesday, February 24th, 2026 for a joint meeting in the council chamber, 275 East Olive Avenue, second floor. It is 8:56. Thank you and good night to all.